The AFL spotlight has been firmly fixed on the Sydney Swans, and rightfully so. Unbeaten through the opening 3 rounds of the season, fresh off their impressive win over the reigning premier last week at the MCG, and now a third Rising Star nomination in as many weeks, this time for Chad Warner. And tonight, the young bloods are back home to face Essendon, who themselves absolutely monstered St Kilda last week for their biggest win in 7 years. Hello and welcome. It is a pleasure as ever to have your company on Grandstand AFL, live from the Sydney Cricket Ground. My name is Brett Sprigg, and to call the action alongside me is Tom Wilson.
Good evening to you, Spriggy. I'm really excited for this match. The Swans, I thought, could get close to Richmond last week and just blew them off the park. The performance of the year in my mind. And look, they had some contention with Essendon's performance last week, certainly for a contender for performance of the round. That was probably the first out of the blue result, I think, of the season outside of the Crows beating Geelong in round 1. Look, I think Sydney are going to win the game, but I think there's a lot to like about Essendon. I know it's one performance, but I think we're going to expect a better showing than perhaps some outsiders think, considering how good Sydney have started.
The Swans run out and join the Bombers on the SCG turf. It's a nice, still evening. It's been a warm afternoon. We'll check in downstairs very shortly with Sophie Clapp. And team news, no late changes, most importantly. There is one confirmed change with Lance Franklin in at the expense of Hayden McLean. James Bell was also omitted out of the 22, but is retained tonight as the medical sub for the Swans. Essendon welcomes back at skipper Dyson Heppel, back from that back injury in round 1. Mason Redmond misses with a hamstring, and Tom Cutler is omitted. David Zaharakis is named as their medical sub for what may end up being his first game since round 11 last year. As for our team tonight, it's nice to welcome former Magpie and Premiership Swan Nick Davis, alongside a former teammate of his, a bloke who won 2 flags with Sydney and a Norm Smith medal to boot. Great to have Ryan O'Keefe back with us on Grandstand AFL this season. How are you both?
Very good. 3-0 the Swans. Probably a couple of unexpected wins there. And as you said, a couple of Rising Star nominations, or 3 is now. And Essendon, personally, see what Ryan thought. I had them pretty high up. I had them making the 8 early on. I thought the game style, the way the game's moving in their list, was really going to suit them. They've started off slowly, but came back with a bang last week against St Kilda.
Yeah, it looks great to be back. Great to be back at SCG for myself. As Dave, as you said, the Swans are looking good. They're a bit the flavour of the month. Everyone's got them, on top of the tree at the moment. But Essendon's interesting, as you said, that they've always been a team that likes to move for the ball fast and their attack. But the defensive side of their game is always the thing that's been questioned. So whether they can tighten it up, and as we've seen so far from the Swans, the ability they're moving the ball with some speed, they're cutting through some defence. So, look, they got off to a good start, and last week was going to be a great test against the Tigers.
Yeah.
And they down at the G, and they showed that they're well and truly up for it.
Well, I'm keen to ask you about this Sydney Swans team. There's 2 guys that played during a successful era for the club, and to be honest, there haven't been many unsuccessful eras for the Sydney Swans. But the way this club was regarded under Paul Roos as unspectacular, dour, defensive, yet obviously very effective sort of footy, to now to this dashing and daring style of footy, which is so nice to watch. How has that evolved over time? And I guess, Nick, that might be best directed to you as someone who's still involved with the footy club. Yeah,
look, I think it's always been a club built on a reputation of hard work and defence, and I don't think that this squad has got anything different in regards to that. I think the evolution of this team is they've caught up to the game and the rules. I think and these young kids, the kids that you draft them because they're the best players and offensively players. And there's been a point in time where kids have been drafted in and you just start to teach them defence straight away, whereas these kids are going, right, well, show us how good you are. And the 2 academy boys and Chad, obviously, from last year, but add Ollie Florent to that too. He's only into his 3rd year. There's plenty of good young kids out there. Look, they've just probably freed the reins up. Don Pike might have had a little bit to do with that, but look, I think it's just keeping up with the game. And look, it's been exciting to watch, and it's probably now a mindset thing. Probably first 3 rounds have gone in as the underdogs. They're probably favourite here against Adelaide, but now this is a game that they're meant to win. I want to see how if their mindset, if they're still bold and daring in games that they're meant to win.
Did you know that something like this could happen? I know Josh Kennedy at the start of the season was sort of asked what the expectations were, and he kind of had a look of a Cheshire cat, never really gives too much away, but he must have known that there was something brewing.
Yeah, there was. I think probably something understated for this group was, I mentioned a little bit last year, how beneficial the hub was for this group. They were a group of young kids, and they had basically a 2.5, 3 month development camp. They had footy just drummed into them because there was nothing else to do. You were sitting in hotels, you couldn't go out. They were surrounded by footy, and an older group of players with families probably would have got sick of it by a month and a half, but these kids were just able to just watch footy, train footy. It was their sole purpose for 3 months, and they were in the sweet spot there as a young crew, and they were able to have a 3 month development camp, come into pre-season, change a few things offensively, and there was probably some signs early.
Ryan, the Bombers electric last week, and it might be a bit of a cliche to talk about standards of intensity, and it won't always come off. Some days your skill level won't be on in the same way all the time, but certainly if they can maintain what they brought against St Kilda over 4 quarters, it's a very promising sign for them.
Well, there's no secret to the game, even though the rules are changed and everyone's going how good it is. It's what the team brings in terms of intensity to a game. If they turn up to play with intent, it's amazing when the contest is up and even that defensive side of their game with intensity's up, the offense comes off the back of that. So if the Bombers bring that, we know they can move the ball. We know they've got some great players, they've got some firepower, but it's how they can sustain it. And as I said, I think either of these teams, if they just dip a little bit in that intensity, the other team's got firepower and will go straight through them and score. So it's going to be, it's going to be, two teams going head to head, and it'll be who cracks first.
There's something about when these two sides meet. You look over the past 10 years, and in that time, 6 games have been decided by a goal or less, which includes the 2 most recent encounters here at the SCG. It doesn't include Gary Rowan's after the siren in 2017 at this end. Dane Rampy climbing the goalpost a couple of years ago. Of course, you go back a fair way to Tony Lockett in the 96 prelim as well. Not to mention Buddy Franklin's record against the Dons personally. So 70 goals in 16 games, his best record against any team in the comp.
He had Cale Hooker. He played him off a break there for a while. Whether that
well, it could be a shootout tonight. Cale's at the other end kicking goals for Essendon.
I'm pretty sure he'd be happy that his magnet's at the top end of the board and not next to Lance Franklin. But just touching on Lance, it was pretty public. It was a planned move to have him not play the game last week. Anyone that knows, and probably Pebs knows as well, that second week coming back off injury and a long injury, you're susceptible to that soft tissue injury. So it was rested there, and they're trying to get bang for their buck. They know they've got 2 years left on this contract. They want him to play the most amount of games possible. So it's good to see for everyone to have him back out there tonight.
Just quickly, by the way, team news in for tomorrow night, a blockbuster in Adelaide. Port against Richmond at Adelaide Oval. The Tigers have made plenty of changes with Rioli, Egmalesi Smith, Caddy, all omitted. McIntosh and Dion Prestia are both injured. Bashahuli, Jack Ross, a potential debuts for Will Martin and Ryan Mansell as well are in fact confirmed debuts the way this team sheet reads. And while for Port Adelaide, Lockie Jones coming in, speaking of potential debuts, Miles Bergman and Peter Laddams have each been omitted. By the way, Scott Morrison is staging a press conference as we speak. Prime Minister, of course, of the country. We'll keep you across that when there is information forthcoming. Your texts are welcome throughout the night. 0437 774 774. We are just moments away from the opening bounce to start round 4. Sydney versus Essendon on Grandstand AFL. And to give us their final few minutes of preview, the ins and outs, the what, where, why, it's over to you guys, Ryan O'Keefe and Nick Davis.
Yeah, I think what Ryan touched on in the preview there is spot on. Looking through the footy record, and you go to pressure factor differentials, everyone's talking about how high and how much these two teams are scoring, but they're number 1 and 2 on the pressure factor differential rankings, which is a key indicator. It's hard to attack if you haven't got the ball. You've got to put pressure on. You've got to win that ball back as quick as you can, because teams have shown that if you're defending too long, if the opposition are moving the ball around, you don't have the field position and you don't have the energy in your legs to be able to move the ball. So both sides will be, they won't be talking about we need to kick 100, 120 points to win this game. And we've got to get our pressure up. We've got to make sure we turn the ball over in our front half and get repeat scores.
Yeah, and it's going to be a start from the contest in the middle, I think. It's always the way, especially here at the SCG. Centre clearances, you can go straight down the seam and you're having a shot, or you can kick it from the centre. If you break out through the front of the centre circle. So, look, it's going to be a real defensive and contested ball game, higher than I think people are going to realise. As you mentioned too, look, the games have we seen have become a real kick mark game. So defenders can't, or even midfielders defending, you just can't sag off and give a bit. Otherwise, as you mentioned, you'll just start marching the ball up the ground and then you're having shots inside 50. So, look, I reckon it's going to be red hot early, and I think both teams are going to try and flex their muscle. Coming off, Swans obviously full of confidence. They are still a young side, so I think Essendon might come and try and see if they can jump out of the blocks and put one on early.
And that's probably been something from inside and afar I've been waiting for. I thought Richmond would have done it last week for these young kids. No one's gone up and given them one in the sternum and going, righto, this is the AFL. Welcome. This is a proper game of footy here. And yeah, I'll be looking for Essendon players to really, get up in the grill of these young Swans players and say, look, you've run around with sort of free rein for the first 3 weeks. We're going to make this a contest. Again, everyone has spoken about how highly these teams score, but I'm the same as you, mate. I think it's going to be pretty tight. I think it'll be a close game. Be interesting to see Soph just giving us updates during the night. It generally does get a bit of a heavy set dew on this ground, and see if that does make a difference as well.
That's a good throw. Sophie Clappin on the boundary.
Well, hopefully won't be too slippery tonight, but as you said, Nick, they are expecting a little bit of dew, but it's pretty nice conditions, very still, about 22 degrees. The crowd's begun to fill out, plenty of Swans fans, but also plenty of red and black pockets plotted around the place. So set to be a great atmosphere. No late changes for either side. James Bell will be the Swans medical, while David Zaharakis has been named as the Bombers medical sub tonight.
Dyson Hepwell's won the toss. The Bombers will kick to the northern or Paddington end of the SCG, and the Swans to the Randwick or Nick Davis end of the ground. Here to start around 4.
I'm sure Pebs has done good stuff at that end too, mate. So.
Final word, who wins, Pebbles?
It's hard to go past the Swans, but good to see Josh Kennedy and Stringer in the middle on each other.
To get us underway here on Grandstand AFL, you're with Tom Wilson.
Peter Wright v Tom Hickey, a couple of Gold Coast men now in different colours. Hickey wins it out for the Swans, kicks a high ball to centre half forward. Dyson Heppel back in the side, takes the intercept mark. The only one who really wanted it at centre half back for the Bombers. He goes short, finds Laverty. He's at right half back. Swans have set up well here, taking his time. Decides to go long down the line in the end. Looking there for Devon Smith, but fisted away by Jake Lloyd. We'll have our first boundary throw-in of the night, outer side of the ground. No one has scored yet, of course. We're only 30 seconds in.
It's going to be interesting to see these midfield matchups.
Voice of Ryan O'Keefe on Grandstand AFL. Hickey to the front, beat right to it. Hand pass from Warner. Hickey back to Warner, up against the boundary line. Hand pass has been picked off. Great work by Merritt on that left boot. Goes inside forward 50 for the Bombers. A little too wide of hooker. Bounces into the pocket and out of bounds. So forward 50 stoppage coming up here for Essendon. 35 around from that right behind post inside the opening 60 seconds here on Grandstand AFL.
So Stringer started in the centre bounce and then he went straight forward. So, and then they brought up Smith.
Boundary throw in. Hickey v Wright gets knocked towards Essendon's goal, but gathered by McCartan. Goes back to Hewitt. He takes on the traffic. Kicks towards the boundary line. Langford is there for the Bombers, but we'll have a boundary throw in. Right half forward flank for the Dons. 1.5 into this game.
This is a key for Essendon. I think if they can get some stoppage work early, as I said, keep it in their forward half and make the Swans kick their way out.
Tom Hickey wins the hit out. Josh Kennedy waiting, ridden into the deck. Fair tackle, says the umpire. Can't get it clear. We'll have another ball up. Ball has hardly moved. We're about 65 metres around from the Bombers' goal on the right half-forward flank.
Ball in the air. Umpire wasting no time. Down to Mills. He drops it. Under pressure. Hand pass away here. Gets it back now. They can rebound the football through Dawson. It comes through the corridor on the 45. Up to a contest. Getting loose out the back. In fact, a free kick here for Sam Wicks, who has legs. So he'll play on quickly again through the corridor here. Tipped away by Braden Ham at half forward now for the Sydney Swans. Numbers in defence here for the Bombers. Wicks gets it back. Hand pass out wide. Cunningham assesses the options. It's been smothered again. Great second effort that time by Nick Cox. Bounces back to Wicks. Now Sam Reid forward of halfway to Kennedy. 55 from goal. They go inside forward 50. Leading up from the pocket, Heaney. And he marks 25 out, an angle tougher than 45 degrees. Deep in that right forward pocket. The umpire's just adjusting his line here. He will come off the line and open up the angle ever so slightly here, Isaac Heaney.
I think you go left foot.
Certainly looks that way. He does indeed across the body, pulls it a little too short. For the first score of the game, a minor one to the Sydney Swans after 3 minutes, and the Bombers are yet to score here on Grandstand AFL from the SCG.
Well, what's your thoughts on that kick, Dave?
I was never a big rap for it.
Me either.
I reckon if you can kick on your natural side, whether it be a set shot or if you're going to not go the set shot, a traditional or check side, but I'd be not a fan of that.
Jordan Ridley kicked it long out. Jordan Dawson dropped the mark. There's a smothered kick by Devon Smith. A great effort. He gathers on the logo. First handball was errant, but he regathered. Nick Cox has it. Centre wing goes perfectly to the middle of the ground. Finds Langford. He's got support. Handball's off to Hind. He's been a great recruit so far. Pumps it in long. Looking for Stringer. Created the space. Great spoil back there by Dane Rampy. Gets it out towards the boundary line. We'll have a throw in 35 metres around from the Bombers' goal in the left forward pocket.
There's been a couple of the Swans' kicks already been smothered. Whether they're trying to look for the perfect pass too much
early,
rather than just get it in, get it into forward 50.
The ball comes in. The Bombers attacking end. Hickey up against Hooker. I don't think it's on from Woody, who's tackled as well. Ball goes with him. Tackled by Lloyd, in fact, after all of that. McCartan tries to get out in space. Dawson slides through. Parrish collects here for Essendon. Off to Merritt. Flying shot from 40 on the run. It's away across the face. Hooker had Hickey for company, and again it's bouncing out of bounds, this time right up alongside that left behind post at the Paddington end. 4.5 minutes played here. Sydney have the one behind, Essendon yet to score.
Peter Wright sitting out as a spare for the Bombers, and also Zach Merritt just sitting on the top of the 50. Just a little defensive strategy there.
Stringer just pulls it out of the ruck, chucks it on the right boot, and goals! Something from nothing from the Bombers. They get the first here at the SCG. They're 1 straight 6. Sydney, one behind one. We're only 5 minutes into this contest.
He was just too strong in that contest, wasn't he? Just pushed him out of the way. You want a stronger contest out in the ruck, especially from your ruckman, to be able to just get a hand on it, not let that sort of happen. But interesting to see that forward 50 stoppage set up for Essendon. They're obviously they've got dangerous forwards in there. Let them do their work and set up a bit of a defensive wall. Hopefully force pressure out, and they just keep getting repeat entries and build the pressure that way.
And just on the Scott Morrison presser, he says that the Australian Technical Advisory Group on Immunisation recommends new advice for Australians under 50 receiving the AstraZeneca COVID vaccine, which will alter the timing of the rollout. So there you go. There's at least most of what you have to know about the Scott Morrison press conference happening as we speak.
Was that a bit of an anticlimax?
I guess it was, yeah, but it's in case you were thinking of the worst. I had to sort of at least put you at ease. Restart back in the middle. Peter Wright against Hickey. Hickey sat at ground level. Get the hand pass away here. They can break away through. Warner goes deep towards the pocket. 2-on-2. Picked up in defence by Laverde. Hand pass comes free. Can they work it out? They can. Ridley bumped off the kick though late. Goes beyond defensive 50. Sliding into mark Braden Campbell. Good overhead mark. 75 from goal here for the Swans. Loads up. Back inside forward 50. Reid wants to sit. He's bumped out of it as well. Umpire says play on. Tackle late here. Guelphy collects on the last line. Gets it back to Heppel, who's forced out over the goal line as well and rushes the behind. So another behind of the Sydney Swans. It's Essendon 1 straight 6. The Swans 2 behinds in the opening 6.5 minutes.
Ryan, is that the entry you'd prefer? Early days, especially with the pressure the Swans forwards can put on. You've got to earn the right to hit the short target.
Exactly. Big turnover. Parrish handballed it straight to the Swans. And Goulden's now got a kick from about 45 metres out on a harsh angle, just tougher than 45 degrees.
Should slot it from here, Davo. This is where you walk out and kick about 1,000 shots of goal from training.
Yeah, I do give my golf analogies a lot. He hasn't got... He looks short.
He's lowered the eyes and he's found Buddy Franklin. Similar angle, about 20 metres closer. The good side for a left footer, but perhaps not Buddy's side, as we know he likes to bend it the other way. He plays on quickly, chucks it on the left boot, bending back, perfect. The Swans respond through their superstar. Sydney 1-2-8, they take the lead. Essendon 1 straight, 6-7 minutes gone in the first quarter.
It's a good connection, Ryan, to have a good connection with Errol Goulden. He uses the ball well. He probably didn't have that club in his bag just outside 50, but look, well done there. And Cardinals, Sydney, you need to just block the lane up. And again, do some homework on these young kids. Essendon, you need to know he can't kick that far. But look, it took Lance Buddy Flankin a while to get on the board here in his first game back. But to kick the first goal for the Swans, that'll get him up and about.
It came off a forward half turnover.
Yep.
That's what it is. Great interception.
And a long entry. Just get it in there.
Well,
on the
before
first
that,
one.
Campbell hits the hot spot about 10 metres out of the top of the square. Forward, the intense pressure the Swans forwards put it on, force then a repeat entry, and then opens up some spare players they'll be able to hit targets with then.
Restart back in the middle. Hickey palms it down here for Parker, but it's picked off firstly by McGrath. They go forward through Peter Wright. The Bombers again win the clearance, and marking is Harrison Jones. He had the arms chopped as well in there by Jordan Dawson. Loads up inside 50, deep towards the Paddington end. Bombers outnumbered in attack. Perkins hand pass. Parry standing start. He's got Wright tracking back toward the goal square, but it's helped over for a minor score at the defensive end by Sydney. So it's Essendon now 1-1-7. The Swans in front 1-2-8. 9 gone opening term grandstand AFL.
Another long entry. I don't mind it early. You can put some pressure on early, get the ball in, trap it in your front half, and then when they open up later in the game, you can hit the short target.
Dawson went to Campbell. Now Rampy, he's strolling down the outer wing, takes 2 bounces, goes on the left foot looking for half forward, but he's missed the target over Patley's head.
That's a waste of a kick.
It was.
Yeah, straight over his head. Dyson Heppel takes the mark. He goes to Laverde. They're going to switch the play here. Now on the left half-back flank. Aaron Francis was dealt with by Franklin. The umpire not too concerned as Snelling marks the defensive side of centre wing for the Bombers.
And the one-time Port Adelaide player kicks wide here. A little too wide for Braden Ham, and it's out of bounds for a throw-in between the benches on the western side.
Big, long switch here, Ryan, can sometimes... That opportunity from Heppel, you turn it over on half-back. You can go straight back through him. If you try and switch here, it's a long way around the Cape, these big, wide wings.
It's actually an area of a big ground. People don't realise you get lost out in the wings.
All tossed back in. Parrish a hand pass. Combines with Langford. They can keep it moving here. Heppel off to Ham. Run down. Just got the hand pass away. Parker was hot on his heels. Swans have numbers around the football now. Warner off to Dawson, been busy early. Hand pass off to McLean. They're out to run here. Off half back the Swans. Using the corridor again. Buddy's outnumbered. Francis got up in front. Spilled the mark. He'll get the free kick though. Essendon ball at centre half back. Sydney leads by a point. 8 plays 7 here. 10 minutes gone in the opening quarter.
That's the third entry for Sydney that Papley's opponent has intercepted or got involved in interception. He's just getting himself way out of position.
Francis goes long, looking for Hooker. It's hit the deck. Dangerous here for the Swans. Alec Waterman chucks it on the left boot. He goes long, but he's pulled it away to the right. No score in the end. We'll have a boundary throw-in right next to the behind post, deep in Essendon's forward line. They trail by 1 point, 10.5 minutes gone in this first term.
It's not the worst result if they can get to another stoppage from goal from a stoppage here.
Back in it comes. Hickey to the front. Has Parker nearby. Hand pass to Dawson. Standing start. Kick goes up and under. Langford's parked himself under it. Pressure though coming the other way from Blakey. Numbers around the football. They keep it alive, the Bombers. High ball inside forward 50. Pack forms. McCartan coming in from the side. Players just piling everywhere. It's picked up by Hooker. Fires on goal on the left boot, but it's going straight down the throat of Dane Rampy on the last line. They'll move it away here, the Sydney Swans. Campbell, nice kick. Heaney reaching, takes the mark at half back.
Plays on quickly. The Academy boys are working together. He goes to Mills, sweeping handball to Florent. He's got some support with Hewitt. He took on Merritt and got tackled. Wrapped him up in the middle of the ground. The umpire says play on. The ball has come out. Now there's a gang tackle. We will finally get that ball up. Forward of the centre circle here for the Swans.
That's when you're facing the game as a kicker. You've got to know what's coming ahead of you, not just call for the ball.
Peter Wright got the hit out, went to Heaney though, got it to Warner. Back to Warner again after a quick handball. Goes inside the forward 50. Francis is leading Franklin and he tackled. How did he get rid of it? Play on, says the umpire. No prior Goes out over the boundary line. We'll have a throw-in about 25 metres around from the Swans goal. Good pressure from Big Bud.
12 minutes played. Fans still filing in Thursday night to start round 4. Sydney and Essendon. Back in it comes. Peter Wright uncontested in the ruck from that stoppage. Out in space. Florent there first with the Swans. Goes high towards the hot spot. Getting a shove in there. It was untidy work from Zirk Thatcher. Ball still be one. He picks up Zirk Thatcher off to Parrish. They can rebound the footy here. The Bombers through Peter Wright. From the back pocket finds Langford on the flank.
He's got some space. Goes back in ball, puts Brainham under real pressure. 360 tackle play on. Langford's in there again. The Swans are swooping. Here's Blakey. There was a holding the ball there in the end. He played on quickly and found Heaney 45 metres out from goal.
It was the right option. It's just a bad kick, and it ended up being a 5-on-2 against.
Heaney plays on quickly. Perfectly weighted. Finds the co-captain in Parker. He's directly in front. 35 metres out.
Again, front half turnovers, Ryan. If you can create turnovers in your front half, inevitably you're going into a disorganised defence, and the Swans are able to pick their way through it pretty well.
Yeah, and that's the key. The defensive and offensive transition, you catch the defence not set up, not ready to go. But this is unforgivable to let this kick land into Parks' hands.
Kick 4 for the year, Parker. Can he add to his tally? Never in doubt. The Swans get back-to-back goals. They go to 2-2-14. Essendon 1-1-7. 13.5 minutes gone in the first quarter.
Yeah.
Well, they had the numbers back there and everything, Essendon. You just can't let that kick happen.
That was the same as Franklin's goal. Same thing. Just falling asleep.
Zach Merritt there sort of just didn't do about it, and probably didn't give the best effort, I don't think, going back. He might have, I know Parks is hard as a cat's head, but I think, he could have put a better effort in there, Merritt.
Yeah, he could have. But again, front half turnovers, I think it's huge in footy at the moment. Teams can set up defensively so well, and the defensive 50 to offensive 50, teams aren't being able to get it through. But if you can turn it over in your front half, go into a disorganised defence, gives you a really good opportunity to take marks inside your own 50.
Voices of Nick Davis and Ryan O'Keefe, ABC Radio, News Radio and ABC Sport Digital, right across Australia and beyond. From the restart, again it's right opposed to Hickey. Hickey slaps it down, overrun by Kennedy briefly. Hand pass off though here towards Mills. Floats it forward now, Parker. Just squeezes the kick inside forward 50. Francis to spoil out in space at left half back for the Bombers, and running out of space down there is McInerney. Will throw it back in between wing and half forward for the Sydney Swans, attacking towards the round weekend. They lead by 7 points.
So I would have loved to see Mills kick that rather than get that extra handball. He's a couple of these forward handballs. It just puts Parksy under pressure. When you're out facing the game, especially from a centre clearance, just bang it long.
Hickey v right. Hickey got the touch. There's Mills. Handballs to Parker. Bit of deja vu. Goes inside the forward 50, looking for Franklin. Too strong. He marks 35 metres out in a 45-degree angle.
It sounds like you know what you're talking about, mate. That's exactly what happened. Quick hand pass, facing forward, kick forward early. You want to put the opposition under pressure. Get the ball in your front half. If you don't mark it, then you give yourself a chance to set up.
I reckon Buddy would have said to the boys, hey, look, I've kicked 70 goals against this mob. just get it to me and I'll do the rest.
Yeah.
It's a great average, that's for sure. Almost in the same spot as he was before. He ran around slightly last time just to improve that angle. It is the right side for a left footer. In comes Franklin. Hits it. This one's swinging back, but not enough. That's a minus score away to the left. Sydney go to 2-3-15. The Bombers are 1-1-7 halfway through this first quarter.
Look, Francis is quite vocal to the umpires and his teammates at the moment. Maybe if he concentrated on actually defending.
It's like a soccer goalkeeper. Sometimes they can be quiet, but just do your job.
Exactly right.
Ridley thumps it long beyond offensive 50. Hooker and McCartan tangled up, and the free kick's going to go the Swans' way. Advantage paid as McCartan to Parker, and now Goulden loads up from 65, rides it all the way home, and it's offline to the left-hand side. A raking kick from Errol Goulden for a minor score. 2-4-16 the Swans. Essendon 1-1-7. 16.5 played in the opening quarter.
Ambitious from the young fella.
Yes.
He had the distance. Perhaps didn't like what he saw when he lowered his eyes. Francis has the footy in the right back pocket. That's a worm burner through the hands of his teammate. Blakey's overrun it. Under pressure here, the Bombers. Sydney tackling exceptionally. Another one. Ball's out in the left half forward flank. Laverde finally gets it to Merritt. There was a free kick. Play on, says the umpire. Ended up being too high. Drop mark out there on the outer side. Important. But Nick Hind helped the Bombers get the ball moving. Handball towards Guelphy. Centre wing. Short ball to Anthony McDonald-Tipungwuti. He plays on. Here's Merritt running around on his left foot. Shirked the first option. Got it to Hooker. He went to McDonald-Tipungwuti. Unfortunately, dropped the footy. Ball's inside their forward 50. And it goes out with a quick kick through Cunningham.
Perkins beats Parker to the footy. Now by hand. Smith back to Guelphy. 65 outside of the boot. Weird looking kick, but it'll arrive effectively on the chest of Alec Waterman. And he's 30 out on a 45-degree angle on the right forward pocket.
There's plenty, when the ball's live, there's plenty of pressure around, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So it's just about just try and find the mark and then you can control the game. It's Swans had Essendon covered there, but Jakey Lloyd did this sort of really dumb press off Tipungwuti when he was in that, got caught in no man's land, and Tipungwuti became the link player.
A couple of Claremont lads from WA way. Waterman on that left boot, straight over the goal umpire's hat. He's got Essendon's second. That's the Swans who have the early 3-point lead. Sydney 2-4-16, Essendon 2-1-13. And we have just about hit time on. In fact, 18 and a half minutes gone opening quarter here on Grandstand AFL.
Great call, Ryan. Yeah, the pressure around the footy from both sides equally has been really, really good. I think it's the ability, and you saw the Swans when Franklin had his shot and missed. Be clean, one handball, kick, clear the congestion. You saw then Essendon, same thing. Kick, clear the congestion. Just don't need to try and handball your way through it at the moment while the pressure is so hot.
Exactly right. Look, Georgie Hewitt's had found his sort of role down back, obviously coming from as a midfielder. Probably then just showed, that one-on-one defensive work still needs to be touched up on, but he's found himself a nice little home there in the back line.
Swans lead it by 3 points. They lead the inside 50s 11-6, so Essendon staying in the game. Reid, beautiful tap straight down to Mills. The handball blocked off, though, by Merritt. He soccers it inside the forward 50. There's that man, Hewitt, chucks it on the left boot, kicks to space. We've got a foot race there. Mills and McDonald-Tipungwuti out there on the left half back flank for the Swans. Mills one out, got the handball, goes a little 1-2. Quick kick there from Kennedy towards centre wing, looking for Logan McDonald. Had a little bit too much on it there. Is there going to be a free kick? Chop of the arms. McDonald will get his first touch of the night.
In front of the O'Reilly stand, the Swans thrust their way forward. McDonald finds Parker. Just forward of the wing. Inboard now for Papley. Too far out to score. Goes inside 50. All on his own, Sam Reid. 40 out directly in front. Opportunity for Sydney coming up.
I'm seeing a few dangerous signs for Essendon's defensive work. Like
around the footy, they're fine.
Yeah, but they're letting. There's too many holes and gaps there, and the Swans' foot skills, as they've shown this year, they're slicing teams. They sliced Richmond last week as one of the top defensive sides. If Essendon drop off, they're going to get murdered.
Reid kicks from just inside the paint of 50 and offline to the left. So an untidy start for the Sydney Swans. 2-5-17. Essendon 2-1-13. Just hit time on first term.
Good call. At the moment, they're just taking a bit too much of a liberty behind the footy and expecting their pressure on the ball to be so great. But when the Swans do break through, they are just sagging off a little bit.
Ridley goes straight down the middle of the ground. Luke Parker, read it best, takes the intercept mark, centre wing. Takes his time. Going to kick it straight over the top of centre half forward. Looking for Reid again. Will he get another shot? The ball hits the deck. Ridley under pressure goes to Laverde. To Brendan Zirk-Thatcher. He kicks out of defence looking for Cale Hooker, but Tom McCartan too strong.
His kick and play.
Yeah, similar to Georgie Hewitt. Moved down back has been really good.
Short ball to McInerney. Finds Heaney, who marks right half forward flank. 45 metres out, right on the paint of the boundary line.
Do we have a stat on how many leads on marks Sydney have taken so far?
Inside 50. Marks inside 50 would be, at a guess, 10-2.
Heaney goes inboard slightly to Lloyd. It's going to take a kick of about 55 metres. He's on a 45-degree angle. Still on the right half forward flank. Thought about the handball off to Dawson. He's going to run around. It's going to be a kick from 50. Goes to the top of the goal square. They're queuing up there. Reid goes up high, out over the back as McDonald He has some company there with Snelling. We'll have a boundary throw in near the left behind post. The Swans lead by 4 points.
I haven't seen one person that do that and run off the man on the mark that's kicked the goal yet. I don't know why you just wouldn't run straight and kick it straight over the man on the mark's head.
Swans by 4 points early. Back in it comes. Reed opposed to right. Zerk Thatcher kicks through traffic. Bobbles its way towards the 50. McInerney spills the mark. Maybe touched the foot anyway. Ball still alive here. Merritt, hand pass back to Peter Wright. From the right back pocket here for the Bombers. Flares it out wide and 2 bites by Harrison Jones. But he can't control the mark before it's out of bounds for a throw-in. 65 around from goal at Sydney's attacking end. So Swans 2-5 to 2-1.
Sorry, it's 8 marks to 0 inside 50.
That's close.
Peter Wright goes the 2 hands. Straight down, waiting though. It was Chad Warner. The number 1 for the Swans beat out the number 1 for Essendon. McGrath goes inside the forward 50. Brandon Zerk Thatcher dealt with Sam Reid. No free kick. Ridley took the mark. He's bursting out of defence. Goes short to Snelling. Left half back flank for Essendon. Fake the handball. Goes up the line to Perkins.
Chance here, Essendon, if they just keep going forward. They've been just a bit lateral. They've got 3 or 4, 5 people sitting lateral. Just keep marching forward.
Perkins goes short to Langford.
That's a good kick.
Marks on the logo. Finds Cox. They're working their way forward. About 75 from goal. A handball wasn't great for Merritt, but he is good. Gathers. Chucks it on the left boot. Kicks it into the pocket. But that little handball put him under pressure, and McCartan wrapped it up easily in the right back pocket.
Kay Luca wasn't looking. He was trying to... He'd expected it to be a clean hand pass and Merritt to run closer to the 50. And he took his eye off the ball, and McCartan took the intercept.
Swans bring it across defensive goal as Lloyd picks out Mills, kicks over the top here for Parker. 65 out from defensive goal in front of the scoreboard.
Peter Wright just sitting down the line. They're going to have to switch play here. Oh,
They will switch here. Dicey, and Stringer gets back and takes the mark. Controlled the ball very low as he fell to ground, and that is an error for the Sydney Swans. They couldn't quite get back in time. Jake Lloyd near him, but Stringer, with a couple of bites, controls the footy, and he's 35 out slightly to the left.
So those long switches, and no, there's too much hang time. There's too much. It's too easy to intercept. You've got to hit that shorter one and then go to the longer switch on a second kick.
4 goals last week against St Kilda. He's already got the first tonight for Essendon. Lining up here for his second, Jake Stringer. Kicks from 45 and makes no mistake. Bombers back in front. 3-1-19, plays 2-5-17. 25 played in this opening quarter on ABC Grandstand AFL.
He's one player you don't want to get the tail up. He's a real confidence player. He's kicked 2 now. He'll be up and about. That real impact play.
You see, he started now. He's kicked that goal. He's going to start in the centre circle, the centre square here. You can. It can go one of 2 ways for Jackie Stringer. And at the moment, if you kick it down his throat 30 metres out straight in front, give him a couple of free ones. But what under Essendon, they set up well. They held the Swans up. That would have been a key point for them during the week to try and hold the Swans up across half back. Peter Wright set up well down the line, forced to switch. Luke Parker didn't have enough penetration, and Jackie Stringer did the rest.
What Essendon are doing, they're making the most of opportunities. Swans have blown a few down there. So
scoreboard pressure you want to put on a young side.
Exactly right.
Back in the middle of the ground. Wright knocks it down. Mills is waiting. So too is McGrath. Ends up back with Wright. And he goes to McGrath, who snaps it round the body. Gets it forward. Left half forward flank. Oh, what a gather there from Cox. Chucks it on the left boot. They got 2 in a row. In quick succession. That was sharp. Essendon 4-1-25. Sydney 2-5-17. 25 minutes gone in this first term.
They're making the most opportunities.
Yeah, centre bounces, win the centre bounce, get it forward, kick goals.
Exactly right. Their percentage of scores inside 50 are much better than the Swans.
Your text welcome 0437 774 774. You're with Brett Sprigg, Tom Wilson, Nick Davis, Ryan O'Keefe and Sophie Clappin on the boundary. Nothing to speak of as yet by way of injury movement. Medical subs tonight. James Bell for the Swans and David Zaharakis for Essendon. I haven't seen too much of the Bombers skipper Dyson Heppel. He's sort of down there resting on Isaac Heaney in the back line for the Bombers. His first game back since round 1. It's Essendon by 8 points. From the restart, Hickey rises high above Peter Wright, only down as far as Parrish though. The Bombers win the clearance, inside forward 50, Ultimate Woody spills the mark, Smith has Cunningham for company, mopped up by Blakey, shares it away towards Lloyd by hand, Stringer again intercepts, can't finish off the mark though, at the 50 here for Essendon, crunching tackle by McInerney, ball jars free, Merritt good effort that time as well on the tackle, ball still in dispute, hand pass picked off, they bring it away, the Sydney Swans, Warner, it was too low for him. And players pile in from all angles, will ball it up between wing and half forward at Essendon's attacking end. The Paddington end of the SCG. It's the Essendon who lead by 8 points.
Bringing good heat, Essendon. They're doing around the footy. They've been good. They just need to continue this now when the Swans get this ball.
McGrath got the clearance, but he kicked it straight to Jake Lloyd at right half back. What they have been good at, Nick, is blocking those handballs. A lot of smothered handballs.
Yeah, their heat and around the scramble has been excellent.
Lloyd goes long down the line. Heppel and Heaney fly at it. But Heaney took a nice contested mark. Goes in board, finds Kennedy. He's got the footy at the logo. Still plenty of time in this first term. Kennedy, another short kick. Florent needs to go at it. Merritt got the spoil. Parrish gathers to Merritt. A turnover here for Essendon, but he handballed it straight to Lloyd. He's taken high by McDonald, Tippin Woody. And he'll get a free kick defensive side of centre wing.
It was incidental for McDonald and Woody, but still free kick nonetheless. Cunningham, just travelled to Campbell. On the half volley, in fact. Kick smothered. Cunningham's kick smothered by Stringer. Ball loose inside 50. Stringer tries to sock it to advantage. Campbell goes in to help. Cunningham under pressure. Mopped up in defence here for the Swans. As Smith and McInerney spoiled back towards Ultimate Woody. Slips away from McInerney as well. Free kick advantage paid for Essendon. Goes inside forward 50. Great lead up play again. Stringer marking. Sliding in low to his right. He'll take the set shot from 40 out on a 45-degree angle here, Jake Stringer.
It's been a good 5 minutes for the Bombers. Yeah. They've brought the heat. The Swans are looking a little bit jumpy on their disposal. There's another smother. I mean, that's about the fourth smother this quarter.
Yep.
Trying to, I don't know, be too cute, trying to look for something that's maybe not there or not the first option.
You got to earn the right. You got to respect the opposition's pressure, and you need to be able to adjust on the fly and go, we can't handball and kick our way through this. Let's just take ground, and it's a big test.
You talk about the growth of confidence here for Jake Stringer. This to make it 3 goals in a quarter. It's well away to the right. Pack in the pocket. It's off the hands of Tom Hickey and out of bounds for a throw-in.
I think the siren couldn't come quick enough for the Swans just to regroup. I think John will have a few words to calm them, get them back to how they started the quarter off.
Bombers by 8 points.
But the last 4 inside 50s. Boundary throw-in. Hickey goes straight down to Warner in the pink boots. Kicks a high ball. The numbers are in favour of the Bombers. Cox is there. Doing really well was McInerney. Florence tackled hard at the bottom of this pack. Ball is still in dispute, so play on, says the umpire. Lloyd gets a soccer out. Guelphy takes on the traffic, looking for Merritt. He just fisted it on. McDonald, Tippin Woody.
Going to get a free kick.
Merritt was taken very high there.
Nick Blakey there, just a bit maybe a little late, a little crude in the middle of the back.
Well, it was a shoulder charge, really.
It was a shoulder charge. It was good old-fashioned Sonny Bill Williams.
There it is. Ooh, right in the under the ribs there. Beautiful.
Overzealous, that's for sure. There were a few pushes and shoves afterwards.
I'm not sure what the ruling in the AFL. I know in the league, Davo, that you're not allowed a shoulder charge. Is that same in the AFL?
Merritt on the siren, kicks from 55. Never really had the distance, and Hickey did well to ensure there was no minus score. It's quarter time here at the SCG. The Swans, they started well, but Essendon finished better. They're 4-1-25. Sydney 2-5-17.
Shoulder charge, yes or no?
You can ask Paddy Dangerfield. You can, but you just can't hit anyone in the head.
Goals in the opening quarter, by the way. Essendon, as Tom Wilson said, their leaders by 8 points at the first change. Stringer has 2. 1 each to Nick Cox and to Alec Waterman. Meanwhile, for the Sydney Swans, singles to Lance Franklin and Luke Parker. 4-1-25 plays 2-5-17 at quarter time on ABC Radio, News Radio and ABC Sport Digital. This is Grandstand AFL.
When history is made.
It's all over. India have won. India have won magnificently.
ABC Sport is there.
He's over the halfway line. Coming, game, set, bingo, premiership.
Commercial free.
The Tigers are still the best team in the land. 3 flags in 4 years for Richmond.
ABC Sport. On radio, online, and on the ABC Listen app.
The 2021 AFL Premiership season on ABC Radio and on ABC Sport Digital.
Stringer just pulls it out of the ruck, chucks it on the right boot, goals! Something from nothing from the Bombers. They get the first here at the SCG. Big turnover, Parrish handballed it straight to the Swans, and Goulden's now got a kick from about 45 metres out on a harsh angle, just tougher than 45 degrees. He's lowered the eyes and he's found Buddy Franklin. Similar angle, about 20 metres closer. He plays on quickly, chucks it on the left boot, bending back, perfect. The Swans respond through their superstar. And he plays on quickly, perfectly weighted, finds the co-captain in Parker. He's directly in front, 35 metres out. Big 4 for the year, Parker. Can he add to his tally? Never in doubt. The Swans get back-to-back goals.
Wealthy 65 outside of the boot. Weird looking kick, but it'll arrive effectively on the chest of Alec Waterman. And he's 30 out on a 45-degree angle on the right forward pocket. Waterman on that left boot. Straight over the goal umpire's hat. Parker. We'll switch here. Dicey. Stringer gets back and takes the mark. Controlled the ball very low as he fell to ground. Jake Stringer kicks from 45 and makes no mistake. Bombers back in front.
Right. He goes to McGrath, who snaps it round the body. Gets it forward. Left half forward flank. Oh, what a gather there from Koss. Chucks it on the left boot. They got 2 in a row.
The 2021 AFL Premiership season on ABC Radio and on ABC Sport Digital.
That's quarter time. AFL round 4 begins at the Sydney Cricket Ground. You're with Brett Sprigg alongside Tom Wilson, our experts Nick Davis and Ryan O'Keefe with Sophie Clappin on the boundary. Your text welcome 0437 774 774. Shout out to Mike, who's listening in Conington, enjoying this call. Thanks all. Good to hear Ryan back along with Nick. Calm the Swannies, says Mike. Good on you, mate. 0437 774 774. NRL just getting underway as we speak at Stadium Australia. South Sydney and the Brisbane Broncos, 0-0 there. Live NBL. Almost quarter time also in Sydney. The Sydney Kings 26, the Perth Wildcats 21. Repeating as well the contents of that Scott Morrison press conference from earlier in the hour. And the PM says Australia will issue an advisory for people under age 50 who are receiving the AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine following concerns about links to rare blood clots. He says it may result in changes to the vaccine rollout. That's the pertinent information. Of course, we are the information station here on ABC Radio, News Radio and ABC Sport Digital. Essendon by 8 points at the first break. Nick Davis and Ryan O'Keefe to pull it apart for us after the opening half hour.
Well, it's like most games, it's a game of momentum. It's about taking the opportunity. Swans looked really dangerous early. Essendon, I thought, like when Swans actually had possession, their defence was really, really loose and Swans about to cut through, but they just couldn't capitalise on the opportunity in forward entries. They had like nine inside 50 marks to 0 at one stage. And they couldn't put it away. It was a little bit like last week. They kicked a truckload of behinds when the game could have been, done and dusted early on. But then Essendon go forward. They make the most opportunity and scoreboard pressure. It is the biggest pressure state you can have.
Exactly.
All these other ones, but then after that, the Swans looked rattled in the last 5 minutes of play. Essendon put a couple of goals on, and as you've mentioned during that quarter, Davo, is Essendon are bringing the heat around the contest. They're putting numbers, they've got speed and putting pressure around the ball. The Swans started getting jumpy.
Yeah, they did. Essendon, for the whole quarter, I thought, as we called, their heat around the footy was really good. The couple of times where the Swans were able to just be clean, give one handball, kick long forward, they were able to take marks and score, miss their opportunities. Essendon tidied up their defence off the ball. They got a couple of intercepts. Merritt spoiled. They went a little bit more direct with their ball movement. A couple of times early, I thought they just tried to switch and go around the Swans, especially here at the SCG. Fastest way to goal is straight down the middle. And you're right. I think the Swans just erred a little bit. They just need to respect Essendon's pressure, just kick it a little bit longer out of stoppage.
A few quarter-time stats, Tom Wilson. Sorry, Ryan.
Luke Parker's got 10, Callum Mills and Chad Warner and Braden Campbell with 8 for the Bombers. Zach Merritt's got 10, Heppel, Ridley and Parrish all with 7.
So I think the key, both teams are bringing heat around the ball. It's that you give one handball out to a player that's facing goal and then go a little bit more direct. I think the team that does that and tries not to be too cute, because both teams are kicking scores off turnover. So the key, out of the contest, one handball out, face the game, and then if you get deeper entries, and then put the pressure on there.
Agree, absolutely agree.
7 scoring shots to 6 in the opening quarter, but it's Essendon who lead by 8 points. With the second term getting underway. Tom Hickey opposed to Peter Wright. Up they go. Hickey taps it down, clears a path for Mills, but set upon straight away by Zach Merritt, and will ball it up again. I waste no time. Hickey and a Florent over around the football. Lloyd soccers out of the air towards the O'Reilly wing. It's a race on foot, although it's all Essendon jumpers there. As Cox gets there first, floats a hand pass forward. Ham loads up inside forward 50 towards a 2-on-2. At the back, Alec Waterman, second bite, can't pull it in. Hooker tackle, dispossessed. Parker mops up in defence here for the Swans. Floats it forward, now they bring it away through Dane Rampy. Got the hand pass from Cunningham, and it's a nice kick from Rampy to find Wicks at left half back.
He goes short for Warner, through his hands. There's Bombers waiting in the centre square. Merritt over the top to McDonald, Tip and Woody. Back inside to Smith. He's got a runner. Ham, another handball. Here's Snelling. Goes around on his right boot. Could have gone left. It's into the top of the goal square. Hooker too strong. He marks directly in front.
Probably his first involvement, Cale Hooker, but Essendon there, they got an intercept. They're trained of hand pass. They were just looking for a left footer to get it to, but they were right footer. Eventually a snap on goal, and Cale Hooker with the mark.
It just shows you can't turn the ball over on that area there. It just goes back for a score.
Front half turnovers.
Cale Hooker with 9 goals in 3 games this year. Make it a perfect 10. They get the hot start again, the Bombers. They've kicked 4 straight in this match. They're 5-1-31. Sydney 2-5-17. That's a 14-point margin. 1.5 minutes into the second term.
Well done, Essendon. Front half turnover again. They've just tidied up, Ryan. I think that off-the-ball defence. I said that first quarter, they heat it around the footy. But, yeah, again, doesn't help when Warner drops it. Doesn't help when
it's gone straight through him.
That does help.
He's done the Herschel Gibbs there.
Cale Hooker's the oldest Bomber out there. You know how I know? He's the same age as me. Always makes you feel old when you've got the...
So do you have to worry about that under 50 vaccine rollout information?
By the time it comes, I might be 50 years. 14 points.
No editorial, Brett.
It's Essendon lead by 14 points. It is a game-high lead.
Dealing fact.
Play back underway mercifully. Hickey up against Peter Wright, laid down at the foot of Mills, shoved out of it by Parrish, loose footy, Blakey taps to advantage here, Warner standing start through the corridor here for the Sydney Swans. Oh, great one-hander taken by Ridley. That half-back for the Bombers.
He's made the move out there to Heaney. It was Heppel there in the first quarter, and Heaney was on
Parker floats across here from Langford. Langford at ground level, though, kept his feet. Hand pass back here. Parrish under pressure. Merritt now gets away from Hickey. Dumped in the tackle. Ball comes free. It's going to be here going the way of the Bombers. As you said, Nick Davis, a free kick going Merritt's way. The much bigger body of Hickey was into the back of him. He plays on from the wing.
Possession number 12 for Merritt, looking for Hooker. Fisted away by McCartan. Langford's there. Warner ran through, tackled immediately, dumped. Play on, says the umpire. Dump in the tackle is the free kick.
That's such a grey area. When the momentum's going that way, I know it's trying to protect the player and everything like that, but it is a contact game.
Mills has got it deep in defence. Goes to Rampy. He plays on immediately to Cunningham. He marks left half back flank for the Swans. Short to Blakey. Working their way through. They trail by 14 points. Blakey goes to centre wing. Peter Wright and Buddy Franklin. Wright got first hands on it. Heppel apparently got first hands on it. I think Wright did, but they've paid the mark to Heppel, centre wing.
The Essendon skipper looks at the options on that left boot. Plays on now. Gives himself some more room. Up inside, forward 50. Hooker, too far underneath it. Rode by McDonald, Tip and Woody. Hand pass over his shoulder. Back to Smith. Now Hooker wheels around. Snaps toward the goal square. Lloyd is back there in defence with the Swans. Picks up in the right back pocket. Thumps it clear beyond defensive 50. And Heaney has Ridley for company, and both content to see it out for a throw-in in front of the trumper stand at right half-back for the Sydney Swans. It's Essendon 5-1-31, Sydney 2-5-17. Margin 14, 4.5 gone second term grandstand AFL.
It's a good move, Ridley going to Heaney. I think just early, Isaac Heaney had just it's a bit too nimble for Dyson Heppel coming back from injury.
Hewitt gets the footy after a handball from Florent, kicks towards centre wing. Heaney flew on the second attempt, took it on the chest, plays on quickly, looking for Franklin. He's leading out in front of Francis. His attempt not retarded according to the umpire, so we'll have a boundary throw in 75 metres around from the Swans goal on the right half forward flank. They still trail by 14 points. Essendon with the ascendancy. Wright gets a fist on that. Warner contends. Parker, he had it all in the first quarter. Goes to Florent. Low ball forward looking for Franklin. And Francis does well again to get this out over the boundary line. The umpire's called deliberate. You are absolutely kidding me.
Oh, no.
It's a contest.
How?
No.
I'm baffled.
I don't know, Ryan.
Fire up, Tom, as they go inside 4-50 through Mills. Floating across in defence. Peter Wright. Hand pass from Smith, left wanting, picked up by his opposite number, Heaney, across his body, and it's away to the left-hand side. Minor score for the Sydney Swans. 2-6-18. The Bombers are 5-1-31. 6 gone second term. Seeing a replay of that out-of-bounds decision, deliberate decision.
It should have been a free kick against Sydney for a deplorable entry.
Cox has brought it out of defence. Finds Jones, who chips it nicely to McDonald, Tip and Woody. They got the footy just forward of centre wing. Members' side of the ground. Back to Parrish. He's looking inboard, just runs straight around Blakey. Looking for Smith, who snaffles it. Right in front of Mills. He takes the mark 45 metres out in a very slight angle.
Bit of scoreboard pressure, bit of attitude from these Essendon players. They're getting up in the grill of the young Swans team. It's something I haven't seen in the first 3 weeks. I've been waiting for it, and Essendon let them know they're in a contest.
Yeah, that was the question that you pondered before the game, Nick, and they're certainly bringing it. That's right.
Especially when a Braden Hams is getting in your grill. Like, no disrespect to Braden. Was he played 18 games?
Devon Smith runs inside the forward 50, hits this one, it's straight, it's long enough. Essendon keep rolling here at the SCG. Smith has his first. They're 6-1-37. Sydney 2-6-18. 7 minutes into the second term.
I just want to go back to that free kick paid against Francis over there. That's unbelievable. I still can't get over that.
And the worst thing is, it's the second worst free kick paid this year.
It's that's right. Because if that's a precedent, it's almost impossible for defenders.
You got to give them an option.
We are making the game absolutely for a forward's dream now, isn't it? Trying to kick goals, if that's the sort of precedent. Anyway, great work, Essendon. They're putting the scoreboard pressure on. We'll get back to the now. Sorry,
but the thing was that Heaney had a shot and it just missed. That could have resulted in a goal. Fortunately, it didn't, and then they've been able to capitalise. But yeah,
the footy karma.
Umpires tonight: Nick Foote, Craig Fleer, and Jacob Mollison. It's a 19-point lead to Essendon over Sydney. It's from the centre bounce. Right, slaps it down. Papley in the middle picks up the footy here, so the Swans win the clearance through Papley. Left boot goes high towards the paint of 50. Over the head of McInerney. Franklin clears a path for himself. Ripped out of it that time by Zirk Thatcher. Umpire says play on. In fact, it's Langford gets to the footy. Just tugs his kick up the line now. Onto the chest of Smith. And Devon Smith, the game's most recent goal kicker, has the footy on the broadcast wing.
It should have been a free kick there to Franklin.
Smith loads up now towards the pocket. Hooker running start. Can't control the mark. Loose footy. Hand pass off to Parrish. Too hot for him. Going in hard there is Campbell in defence for the Swans. Although he taps it towards the pocket. Picked up by Parrish. The finish from the pocket is superb. Darcy Parrish saw a loose footy. Didn't see much daylight between the goalposts. But brought the drop punt back beautifully. And Darcy Parrish with certainly a goal of the week contender to extend the Bombers' lead to 25 points. 7-1-43. The Swans are 2-6-18. 9 gone second quarter on Grandstand AFL.
You won't say as good as finish that. That's beautiful finish.
That was a good finish.
They're making the most of the opportunities. They're just... What's 7-1? They just can't miss at the moment. But they're turning the ball over and they're going straight back at the Swans. And as you said, they're putting pressure on them, putting scoreboard pressure, plenty of heat around the ball. The young Swans now, this is a real test of their character to see, well, can they fight their way out of it? They've been on the downhill slope the last few weeks, so now teams put it to them.
Yeah, what do they go to? Be interesting to see who stands up and what they go to.
Well, they've put Papley in the middle because he hasn't touched it going forward, so they're trying to get him back in the game.
What made that so good was also it wasn't a check side, it was a drop punt. It just found its way through superbly.
Just on that centre bounce, if it just was still in the circle, I don't know why that's just not play on.
Yeah, we had a redo. They're going to throw it up this time. Hickey wins the hit out. Goes towards Mills. Merritt, he's brought his own footy here to the SCG. Tackled by Mills. Play on, says the umpire. Regathers. Cox has got it. He's surrounded by Swans, but he got the handball out. An errant one there from Parrish. The goal kicker just missed Hine, and it's a turnover. Kennedy, another errant handball, but Florent, he can run onto it. He kicks it from 55. Can they break the run of play? Shepherded through. Boy, they needed that. Ollie Florent stems the tide. Sydney go to 3-6-24. Essendon 7-1-43. 10 minutes gone in the second term.
They got lucky. Just a missed handball from Essendon coming through the middle, and they would have been off and gone again, but the Essendon midfield was streaming forward, left the ball behind, and just let the Swans go through uncontested. And a good finish from Ollie Florent. He needed to kick that, and the Swans to get a much-needed goal.
It was a very good contested win by Goulden there to get it. But there, as you said, very lucky that handball missed the target. Essendon way out. What ends up happening is, team, you get a bit under pressure, then all your players start going to the contest, and then you start losing balance around that contest. And what's happening, Swans are investing more and more numbers in. Essendon is sitting out, and pop, out you go. Then they got free air all the way to their forward line.
Charlie and Pemberton, 0437 774 774. Great to be listening to a great start to what will be a Butte game as the Swans win the clearance. Goes inside forward 50. Franklin with Francis. Roving it, Heaney. Hand pass though, picked off by Zach Merritt. Looks at the options on the outer wing. Sends his kick out there, but it's chopped off by Lloyd for the Swans. Just forward of half back. Kicks over the top. Spilled to McDonald. Had time. Didn't control the mark. Hand pass back in. What I was wanting for Florent. Heppel had over the football. Does well. Keeps it alive here. Bombers can thrust their way forward of halfway. Ham off to Perkins. Up and a huge tackle that time by Rampy. Play on, says the umpire. You can hear the chorus of boos from the home fans here at the SCG. Wicks tackled as well by Merritt. Loose footy here. McGrath sends Essendon back inside 50, but Kennedy marks at right half back for the Swans.
Good bit of pressure. Pressure's gone up from both sides here.
Essendon by 19 points midway through the second quarter.
You can see that the umpire's going to let the ball flow on.
Yeah.
The ball spills out. They're happy for it to play on. Yep. So it's not going to be a hole in the ball sort of game.
Dane Rampy goes long down the line, out of sight, almost grabbed there by McDonald. It spills to Franklin out the back. He shrugs one tackle, gets the handball to Kennedy, rushes the handball back looking for McDonald. Franklin's still in there, so too McDonald. Ball is spilling around, perhaps an in-the-back decision. The umpire has seen it. Going the way of the Swans. Goes to Wicks. Handballs to Franklin. Goes long on the left boot. Hickey is playing behind Wright. Wright got the hands on it. Here's Papley ingesting himself in the game. Centres the ball looking for Heaney. But in front, McInerney grabs it. He was dealt with by Langford in the marking contest. The Swans don't like it. The umpire looks like there's going to be no 50. So McInerney will have a shot 40 metres out directly in front.
Well, I don't like this push and shove sort of stuff. Like, the Essendon guy wasn't doing it. It's an absolute perfect contest. And for Mills to come and... What's the point? That's not...
You're allowed to compete, aren't you?
Exactly right. So all this huff and play, you can't do anything out there anyway. So, well, just get on with playing.
Justin McInerney.
It's a good catch, though.
Good grab. Did hurt him in the contest, but he's up now. Walking towards the paint of the 50. Can they continue this little momentum run? McInerney kicks. The crowd likes it. He likes it too. 2 in a row for the Swans. They're working their way back in. They're 4-6-30. Essendon 7-1-43. 14 minutes gone in this second quarter.
This is that momentum shift now. The Swans have got it in. They've got to make sure they capitalise and start kicking some goals. So it's up to Essendon now. They've put up a good lead. can they sort of weather this Swans momentum and not take too much damage on the scoreboard?
Just safe. Just keep an eye. Isaac Heaney, going down to the rooms.
Take it away, Soph.
He's just come off clutching his right hand. He's in the hands of the doctor now. They're heading down to the rooms, but he looked in a lot of pain. I'll keep you updated.
He doesn't look happy. I think there's something going on there.
He's storming down the race.
He's storming. He's an angry little ant, but we're critical there. We mentioned that Papley was quiet. He went into the middle. He got a couple of clearances and then set up McInerney with that goal. If I was him, I'd be in this centre bounce again.
15 gone. Quarter number 2 here at the SCG. Back-to-back goals for the Swans. It's Essendon by 13 points. Kennedy tackled with the footy. Hand pass to Florent. Now a little kick here. Warner through the middle, but it's picked off by Stringer.
Bang it in. You got the momentum. Yep. Some cute kicks. It's killing you.
Goes on the angle here behind the bullseye towards the commentary wing. Ends up with McGrath in front of the old members stand here at the SCG. Gives it back to Heppel, his skipper. Franklin in from the side, crunched him, and the umpire says holding the ball. Advantage paid here. Hand pass to Blakey. No one's back there in the goal square. He fires from 70. It's bouncing to the left and missing. A promising bit of lead-up play there from the Sydney Swans, and Blakey sent it goalward straight away. A minor score only. Swans 4-7-31, Essendon 7-1-43. 12 points the margin.
It was close to 50. Franklin
timed it perfectly.
Yeah, it was perfect.
Ridley goes long out of defence, all the way to the centre circle. Campbell's there. Langford gathered with the one-hand pick-up. Flat ball inside the forward 50. The package is there. Just needs to soccer it through. McCartan did well. Jake Stringer, minor score off the left boot. Essendon go to 7-2-44. Sydney 4-7-31. That's a 13-point margin halfway through the second quarter.
I'll tell you what, the Bombers are much more superior than the Swans are, is ground-level contest off a marking contest.
Yes.
Their ground ball stuff's... the Swans just don't get numbers there, and Essendon are really, really good at just getting out of the feet of the contest.
They're playing the conditions of the game. It's probably a little bit starting to get a bit dewy out there and the heat's on, whereas the Swans are still trying to pick them apart like now.
Oh, Lloyd to Hewitt just finds Florent. Waterman coming in from the side. It was just well weighted enough. It's back to Rampy across the goal mouth. Down to Campbell. They switch here. That long switch here for the Swans. Campbell from left half back. Kick was too hot for Papley. Arrives out the back for Merritt of the Bombers. Tackled by Warner. Got the hand pass away. Perkins slides in. Has to control the football. Does so now. Hand pass back to Laverty in his 50th game. Dumping the tackle this time by Errol Goulden. Great pressure act from Goulden. 55 out of Sydney Swans free kick.
I'll tell you what, it's the missed handballs the biggest killer. And
Goulden wastes no time in the corridor for Josh Kennedy. 45 out, slightly to the left.
And this is killing Essendon, right? These just easy hit-up leads for the Swans inside 50. And then
goes shorter again. Back to Goulden.
They're not... You've got to play it out. You've got to defend. Still now, you got Essendon players pointing and hands on hips and knees. You've got to be ready for these short kicks inside 50.
That can be a bit of false sense of security when you have that zone back or forth in the game. Everyone goes, we've got numbers back here.
No one's manning anyone.
I'll switch it off. But no, exactly right. There's all these holes you get.
Everyone's busy doing nothing.
Errol Goulden, it was their Rising Star nomination in round 1. It's been all Swans in that category so far. This to make it 3 goals in a row. It's away to the right. 4-8-32 here, Sydney. Essendon 7-2-44. 18 played second quarter here on Grandstand AFL from the SCG.
That wasn't a very fluid shot on goal.
No, it's not, and it's disappointing.
He'll get left out of the left footers club in a minute.
Heppel, another left footer, goes long, looking for right. Was nursed under the footy by Reid. They're going to play on after the play stopped. String of handballs. McGrath to Devon Smith. The kick's partially smothered. Mills takes on the tackle. The young pup, Perkins. Wow.
Good. He's been really good.
We've got a ball up. Right half forward flank. Sophie Clappin on the boundary.
Yeah, guys, James Bell, the Swans medical sub, has just put his Guernsey on. No sign of Isaac Heaney, but I'll keep you updated.
Yeah, some sort of hand injury for him as it's socketed out of the air by Goulden. Down towards Franklin, who's outnumbered, just forward to the wing. That back in play here. Heppel picks up for Essendon. The captain kicks up the line. 2-on-2. Goulden poles in from the side, but it's out of bounds. So we'll throw it back in on the commentary wing here, western side of the SCG. Essendon leads by 12 points. 7-2 plays 4-8. 19 gone second term. As the umpire wastes no time throwing it back in. It's Reid and Wright getting tussled up here. Tap down. Kennedy gives a shove on Smith. Hand pass away here. Reid with Mills. High ball up and under. Warner under the high ball. Tries to go on top of Zach Merritt. Another work at ground level. He slides in. Beats his teammate Goulden to it. Hand pass picked off though. They bring it away through Stelling. Essendon. Kicks to Jake Lloyd though, so it's turned over again. At half back for the Swans. McCartan has the footy. We'll come back here for a free kick as Lloyd was put down after the fact. It's going to be a Sydney Swans free kick at left half back.
Just want to pick up a piece of commentary that you said before, Ryan. Essendon are holding the outside of the scramble a lot better. The Swans are committing too many numbers too close. Essendon, when they win it, they're able to get it on the outside and break away.
Switch of the play, McCartan, kick to a 2-on-1 against, but it falls out there for Florent. He kicks on the right boot, perfect pass to Mills, marks right half forward flank. He's got Franklin, he's got Papley as options. Takes his time, he's going to go long towards the top of the goal square. Flying at that is Reid, the perfect option. He waited and he was rewarded, Mark. 25 metres out directly in front.
That's the kick. That's the kick that put any defence under pressure. Even if Reedy didn't mark it there and brings it to the ground, you got it. You got
pressure. You can score in 3 or 4 different ways.
Yeah, you got pressure right in a real dangerous spot.
We missed his first shot tonight. Sam Reid directly in front, makes the goal. Umpire move, but sneaks it in. Sydney, they're on a roll. They're 5-8-38. Essendon 7-2-44. The margin is back to 6 points. We're into time on here at the SCG. 21 minutes gone.
It's been a good response from the Swans, but I think it's off the back of a couple of Essendon mistakes and missed handballs that you said, Ryan. I'm not sure if the Swans have increased their defensive pressure. I think it's still in a bit of a shootout. I think it's just Essendon missed a couple of handballs, a free kick, and the Swans have been able to capitalise. They've got the momentum, as we said, and they're scoring, which is important.
Boundary side we go. Sophie Clapham.
Yeah, guys, Isaac Heaney officially injured, and James Bell, the medical sub, has been activated for the Swans and just injected into the game.
Get on your Soph. Yeah,
that's a big loss for Swans.
Oh, yeah. It's been very impressive in the opening rounds of the season. At one stage, the margin was 25 points Essendon's way. It's back to just 6. 3 straight goals to the Swans. A free kick out of the restart, though, going the way of Peter Wright. I think Ruckman on block against Hickey. So Wright from the middle. Thumps it deep down the corridor, inside 50. Hooker wants it. Spoil comes from behind. A free kick going Essendon's way. It may in fact be going the way of Cale Hooker for a stray arm over the shoulder perhaps. It will indeed be a set shot for goal. No more than 25 out and no real angle to speak of.
See, again, that kick to that real dangerous spot deep inside 50, it causes issues. Defenders get a bit twitchy. They hang on to a jumper. It's a perfect attacking zone because you can
score from a mark, you can score from a free kick, you might get a crumb or you get a stoppage. There's multiple ways to score if you just attack that position 20 metres out directly in front.
Tom McCartan was the offending party. He stands the mark as Hooker is on the approach. 25 out here for the Bombers and misses. Well,
that was a backman's kick.
That is a bad miss for Cale Hooker and the Bombers, who extend their lead, but only by 1. 7-3-45 plays 5-8-38. 23 gone second quarter here at the Sydney Cricket Ground.
I can't really say that anymore because actually you need your best kicks out of your back line. Maybe that's why they've shifted them all forward.
Probably got a bit too close to the man on the mark for mine. Dawson brings it out of defence. He is a beautiful kick. Really got close to the boundary line, went over it, says the umpire. Blakey took the mark, but out of bounds on the full. So Langford's got the footy.
Big 5 minutes here. It's a big 5 minutes.
Has it in the interchange gates. Goes down the line. We're playing kick to kick down the boundary line. He's kicked it straight out of bounds on the full. Braden Campbell now has it for the Swans left half back flank.
He was the rising star norm last week. In fact, the round 2 one.
Round 2.
Well, that's dangerous kick.
Thumps it up towards the wing. On the logo, Reid up against Zerk Thatcher. Warner, he's wrapped up. He's the round 3 rising star nomination, and now will be balled up as he was met solidly by Will Snelling. 0437 774 774. Shout out to Will, who since he sent the text saying that Sydney were playing like old ducks and not Swans, they have improved. They win a free kick here. Hickey out of the stoppage.
What's an old duck play like?
Comes wide to Blakey. It's on a new contract during the week. Thumps it towards Buddy, leaping up from 50. Won't control the grab. Loose footy. They pile in again from all angles, and the umpire says, give it to me. Francis it was who was wrapped up first. 60 out from Sydney's goal, Paddington end, but it's Essendon who lead by 7 points, 24.5 played, second quarter.
Again, Essendon got the crumb off the marking contest. And it's something that, especially these small, fast forwards Sydney have got, they need to really improve in that area.
Got a boundary throw in after a ball up. Can basically be in the same spot, depending on how far this umpire can throw it in. Right, knocked it down with two hands. Parrish went with the handball, but Kennedy was there waiting. Blakey's kick was smothered, falls in the lap of Lloyd. His kick's off his ankle, but deep inside the forward 50. Reid was too strong, goes with the handball to Mills on the right boot. It's bending around and off perfectly was Callum Mills in his execution of the snap, and Sydney get another. That's 4 in a row. They go to 6-8-44. Essendon 7-3, 45, 4.5 minutes to go in this second quarter.
So that came off the bit. Swans actually had balance at that stoppage. Yes. Jakey Lloyd was just sitting out, which he didn't get invested or get sucked into the contest. And ball bobbled, and that outside player, he was able to pick it up and go forward. And then Reedy, great contest there. Did all the hard work. I thought he was going to make a meal of it, but then great finish. Swans are making most of their opportunities now. That's probably the difference for them this quarter. Essendon just haven't had the chance to go forward, because we know as soon as they go forward, they've been scoring.
4 unanswered goals, and while that's happened, Isaac Heaney subbed out of the game with a hand injury. So James Bell, the medical sub, has been injected into the contest, as Sophie Clapham told us a short time ago. 4 unanswered goals for the Swans. Can they win the clearance? Mills, the goal kicker, slides in. Hand pass back to Hickey. Standing start to Papley. And it's coming free here. Nick Hind picks up the footy, kicks it from half back. Perkins
liked
takes the chest mark.
I liked his work.
Is he called Tex?
Has to be.
Has to be.
They wouldn't know, these young people.
Archie Perkins. Debuted last week against the Saints. Loads up inside forward 50. Wants to find the marker. Stringer at the back, kept his feet. Goes to the boundary line with Parker. Parker gets best position. Hand pass off to Rampy. Up against the boundary line now. Florent moves away from Smith. Good evasive skills now. Kick isn't so great. Picked up on the half volley by Warner. And now Bell involved. Chucks it on the logo. Looks for options by hand. Sweeps it forward now for Goulden. Out in open space. 65 out. Buddy's back there. Top of the goal square. He can beat Francis to it. Runs in. Plays on quickly. On the angle, mind you. But Lance Franklin has goal number 2 tonight. And the Swans are back in front. 5 in a row for the Sydney Swans. As we approach half-time, they were down by 25. They lead by 5 points here. 7-8-50 to 7-3-45. 27.5 minutes played. Nick Davis, Ryan O'Keefe.
Warner, he dropped one early in that exact same spot, but that was an absolute elite ground ball to take that. And once he took that, because that real dangerous inside 45 in the corridor kick, it just opened Essendon up. And away they went. Essendon... Francis was playing in front of Buddy, but as soon as Goulden got it, he had the old Pagan's paddock going.
Yeah, all the time in the world. But yeah, I think that's been the tail of the tape in the first half. It's been errors. Whatever team's made an error, the other team have gone forward and scored. When Warner dropped that, went forward. Go back a few minutes. Cale Hooker's miss, so important. It could have changed the momentum. Missed it, and now Swans are back in front.
Hickey got the hit out, looking for Parker. Throwing on the boot there is Jake Stringer. Goes forward, looking for Perkins. A couple of young guns, Campbell and Perkins. Oh, look at them. The 216s. There's a bit of fire down there on the boundary line. The young Bucks will have a throw in 60 metres around in the right half forward flank for Essendon. They're going to give a free kick here to Perkins.
But this... No need to do that argy-bargy stuff. Like, what's it prove? You just give away a free kick.
He sets it up toward the hot spot here for the Bombers. Spoil comes from Hickey in defence. McGrath the roving with Ontip and Woody as well. Gets away from Cunningham. Shirks one tackle. Straightens a kick towards Langford, who marks 52 out, slightly right of centre. He may feel it's beyond his range, assessing the options. Every player on the ground just about is in the attacking 50 for Essendon. Certainly every player inside the attacking half on this rather small footy oval. Langford toward the teeth of goal. Playing up in front, right. Slapped away on tip and Woody. Looks to Soccer. Allows it for Alec Waterman. Hand pass picked off by Hickey. And now Campbell for the Swans. Finds Florent in the right back pocket. They're away.
Oh, over the top of Bell there. Ball's in dispute. Play on, says the umpire. Warner's there. He's got Papley in support, outer wing. Goes towards centre half forward. Finds Reed. He dropped the mark. Jeez, they had space. Langford mops it up. His handball is errant. Still working hard on the outer side of the Bombers. Guelphy got the handball to Cox. He goes to Langford. Long down the line. It's Waterman who's marked. Left half forward flank. Goes to the top of the goal square. Sitting back there is Stringer. Had a fly. Couldn't pull down the mark. Minus score.
Didn't need to do that. All he needed to do was body up, find some body on Dawson and take an easy chest mark. I think he erred on the side of
the highlight package.
Highlight package.
But hey, that came down to Sam Reed's drop mark.
Yep, I said it. If you make a mistake, you're getting paid.
That could have been another goal for Sydney if he took that.
Jordan Dawson buys some space in the right back pocket. Comes up the line here. Hickey beaten through the air. Campbell tries to slap it to advantage here for the Swans. Picked up by Smith of the Bombers. Hand pass Langford. High kick inside forward 50. Perkins has 2 to beat in the air. Brings it to ground. Lloyd hand pass here for the Swans. Campbell in space. Gets away from Smith. Hand pass untidy. Picked off by Langford. Goes inside forward 50. Lloyd here again for the Swans. They'll try again. Can they switch? Yes. Ball by foot. Dawson's kick will work out okay for Goulden. Marks 45 out from defensive goal. They can just slow things down here, the Swans. Again coming out wide to Lloyd, and now Rampy at left half back. It's the Sydney Swans by 4 points here. They've come back from 25 points down, 5 unanswered goals, 31 gone second term.
Lloyd's been busy this quarter. He's up to 17 for the match. The kick down long to Reed. He marks, plays on quickly. Goulden, that trusty left boot. He's got options going longer to Hickey. He gathered, not quite. Bounced off the ground into his chest and out over the boundary line. We'll have a throw in 30 metres around from the Swans' goal in the left forward pocket.
Probably didn't need to take that bounce before he kicked it. He was nice and balanced. Hickey did all the great work and provided a great leading lane for himself. And
boundary throw in. Reed versus Wright. Papley rose. Tackled as he kicked by Hine. Play on, says the umpire. Waterman's deep in defence. An unusual spot for him. Gets the handball out to Brandon Zirk-Thatcher. Has time to gather in the left back pocket. Handballs to McGrath over the top to Waterman. Thinks about taking on Mills. Has to handball it back to Ridley. Handball work here from Essendon's working until it doesn't. Turnover. Reed's got it at centre half forward. Dawson, he's under pressure. Back to Reed. Another handball. No one wants to kick the footy at the SCG. Ball's in dispute. Campbell ran over the top of it. It's still inside the forward 50 for the Swans. Chucked on the left boot, and here it is. Blakey. Finally, someone kicked it so someone could mark it.
The handball skill is definitely a dying art in the game. It's the one that's caused the most turnover. Drop marks and handballs have been the biggest skill area that's caused all the turnovers.
So the Swans finish off this quarter with all the momentum. They've kicked 5 in a row. Blakey has a shot from 50 metres
he can't play on here. He has to go straight at the net of the mark.
Has he got the leg?
Yeah, I think so.
It'll take a kick of about 53 metres on a slight angle to the left-hand side. Blakey, he did move around, not punished. He's got the journey, hits the post, or just away to the side.
You are allowed a natural arc. So if you've got a natural arc, as long as it's not exaggerated, you're allowed to have a natural arc.
We're still figuring this out, aren't we?
Certainly pushing the boundaries there was Blakey. They go to 7-9-51. It's half-time at the SCG. They had 5 unanswered goals to lead it by 5 points. 7-9-51 Essendon, 7-4-46.
In that second quarter, Lance Franklin kicked his second. Singles for Florent, McInerney, Mills, Parker and Reed across the game so far. While for Essendon, Jake Stringer kicked both of his goals in this first quarter. Nick Cox, Cal Hooker, Darcy Parish, Devon Smith and Alec Waterman also on the board as well. As Tom Wilson said there, 5 points is the margin at the halftime break. And if you have just joined us, Isaac Heaney subbed out with a hand injury midway through that second quarter. And as a result, James Bell, the Swans medical sub, has been activated. Nick Davis, Ryan O'Keefe, our experts on Grandstand AFL here at the SCG.
Good solid half of footy. I thought both sides had their opportunities, and we go in with the Swans with a 5-point lead. Yeah, I said it was a big 5 minutes coming into half time, and they went from 2 goals down to nearly a goal in front. I think both sides will be pretty pleased with the pressure that they're putting on, but they'll be equally disappointed with the way that they've handled the opposition's pressure. I think Ryan, you've been calling for it, if you just be clean, one clean hand pass, you're facing forward, kick, move the scramble, move the ball back into your half and score off repeats. 2 things, scoring off repeats and putting the ball into dangerous spot going forward. The opportunities and the way to go forward, the short kicks, the lead-ups will appear naturally. They're trying to force them both sides. Put each team under pressure, let the small forwards go to work and score from that.
Yeah, look, I think both teams' pressure around the contest is really, really good. So we talk about what team's got the best balance, that outside balance. But what it's showing, and you say if you're the defensive coach for both sides, both teams can score quickly. And both teams are very dangerous when they're going forward at the moment. And, whether it's off the back of turnovers. So ultimately, when you've got ball in hand, you've got to be clean. And I think it's the handball. We keep speaking about the handball and the drop marks or fumbles are the skills that are causing the turnover. I think the kicking from both teams have been very good. So it's about trying not to overuse the ball, get deep entries, get field position, because the pressure's been phenomenal from both clubs around the contest.
Essendon led by 8 points at quarter time, but as we said, a fight back for the Swans with 5 unanswered majors to lead by 5 points at the major break. News coming up shortly around the grounds. NRL late in the opening half at Stadium Australia. South Sydney 10, Brisbane Broncos 6. And a comeback of sorts in the NBL as well, the basketball. The Perth Wildcats 47, the Sydney Kings 41. Half-time there at the Kingdome, just across town from where we are here at the SCG. Your texts are welcome, 0437 774 774. We'll get stats, a bit more analysis, and, of course, the second half underway very shortly as well. But first, it's time for us to head to the ABC newsroom.
ABC News with Glenn Lauder. The Chief Medical Officer, Paul Kelly, has announced Pfizer is now the preferred vaccine for people under the age of 50, following advice from the nation's top medical experts. Authorities have met to consider new findings from Europe about a possible link between the AstraZeneca COVID-19 jab and a rare blood clotting disease. They've recommended using Pfizer's vaccine over the AstraZeneca jab in adults under 50, except where the benefit of the vaccine clearly outweighs the risk. But Professor Kelly says most Australians who've already had their first dose of the AstraZeneca vaccine can proceed with the second.
This includes adults under the age of 50 and people who have had blood clots associated with low platelet levels after their first dose of COVID-19 AstraZeneca should not be given a second dose.
Meanwhile, a legal expert for the World Health Organization is warning a loss in public confidence for the vaccine from AstraZeneca will deal a huge blow to the organisation's plan to vaccinate some of the world's poorest people against COVID-19. It's under intense scrutiny after several extremely rare cases of blood clots were linked to it, leading a number of countries to suspend the rollout or place age limits, as has now happened in Australia. WHO lawyer Professor Lawrence Gostin says the Oxford University developed jab is safe, effective and essential if the world's to move on from the pandemic.
What saddens me most is that the AstraZeneca vaccine was going to be perhaps the primary engine to vaccinate the world because it's much more easily stored than the mRNA vaccines.
Meanwhile, the Indian pharmaceutical company licensed to make global supplies of the AstraZeneca vaccines, accusing Europe and the US of holding back critical raw materials. The Serum Institute of India, the world's biggest vaccine makers, under fire from foreign governments for halting exports. The institute's chief executive says he's been directed to prioritise India's massive demands. Also making news, the federal government has defended taking more than a year to fully respond to a report into workplace sexual harassment. The government will adopt either in full or in part the 55 recommendations made by Sex Discrimination Commissioner Kate Jenkins last January. It includes a commitment to amend the Sex Discrimination Act to include politicians and judges who've previously been exempt from the laws. Assistant Minister to the Attorney-General, Amanda Stoker, says the government's taken the report seriously.
So while there might be a perception of delay, in fact, there's been plenty of work going on behind the scenes, and there's already been progress in delivering what's necessary to generate the change required for people to feel safe from sexual harassment at work.
Tourists in parts of northern WA are being urged to reconsider travel plans because of dangerous weather systems off the coast. A tropical low is expected to strengthen to a Category 1 cyclone. It'll most likely cross the Exmouth coast on Saturday, bringing severe weather conditions. In addition, tropical cyclone Saroja is expected to strengthen to a Category 2 or 3 and cross the coast between Jurien Bay and Carnarvon. DFES Assistant Commissioner Paul Ryan says strong winds, heavy rain and potential flash flooding are expected.
We're also advising that the North West Coastal Highway will possibly be closed near Manilia on Friday, and you may not be able to travel south. You'll also have tropical cyclone Saroja will be impacting the coastline the next day, so you need to leave now.
Federal government lawyers have told the High Court police should keep social media messages and other materials seized in raids on former New South Wales Labor staffer John Zhang. Here's Elizabeth Byrne.
John Zhang has challenged 3 warrants, including one for a search at the New South Wales Parliament in the High Court. He hasn't been charged, but is accused of trying to covertly influence his boss, backbencher Shaket Moselmain, to support Chinese state interests. The court heard the material includes WeChat messages and even $60,000 in cash, which generated a money laundering investigation. The court has reserved its decision.
Overseas, Britain's condemned the Myanmar military attaché in the UK for occupying the country's embassy in London and locking the ambassador out. Josua Min spent the night in his car outside the building, saying he's been told he no longer represents the country in the UK because he called for the coup to be overturned and for the violence to end. Mr Mins appeared outside the embassy alongside a Burmese community spokesman, Min Hain, who repeated the ambassador's claim the Myanmar coup is now playing out in Britain.
Due to his stand, the Myanmar embassy in London has been seized by the military attaché yesterday evening. The ambassador has been locked out since then. There was a coup in Myanmar in February. Now a similar situation in central London.
ABC News.
From athletes to aviators, scientists to spies, from the deep blue sea to the dark black skies, the Fierce Girls podcast goes where others dare to dream. Join the amazing Pia Miranda, Marley Silver, Yael Stone, Natalie Tran, Gabby Simpson, Claudia Carvin, Turia Pitts, Stephanie Gilmore and more for inspiring tales of some of Australia's most extraordinary women. The Fierce Girls podcast. Hear it now on the ABC Listen app or wherever you do your listening.
The 2021 AFL Premiership season on ABC Radio and on ABC Sport Digital.
Back inside to Smith. He's got a runner. Another handball. Here's Snelling. Goes around on his right boot. Could have gone left. It's into the top of the goal square. Hooker too strong. He marks directly in front. Kale Hooker with 9 goals in 3 games this year. Make it a perfect 10. They get the hot start again, the Bombers. They've kicked 4 straight in this match. Parrish. He's looking inboard, just runs straight around Blakey. Looking for Smith, who snaffles it. Right in front of Mills. He takes the mark 45 metres out in a very slight angle. Devon Smith runs inside the forward 50. Hits this one, it's straight. It's long enough. Essendon keep rolling here at the SCG.
Going in hard there is Campbell in defence for the Swans, although he taps it towards the pocket. Picked up by Parrish. The finish from the pocket is superb.
Kennedy, another Heron handball, but Florent, he can run onto it. He kicks it from 55. Can they break the run of play? Shepherded through. Here's Papley ingesting himself in the game. Centres the ball looking for Heaney, but in front, McInerney grabs it. McInerney kicks. The crowd likes it.
Just keep an eye on Isaac Heaney.
He's just come off clutching his right hand. He's in the hands of the doctor now. They're heading down to the rooms. Isaac Heaney officially injured, and James Bell, the medical staff, has been activated for the Swans and just injected into the game.
Deep inside the forward 50. Reid was too strong. Goes with the handball to Mills. On the right boot. It's bending around and off.
Goulden out in open space, 65 out. Buddy's back there, top of the goal square. He can beat Francis to it. Runs in, plays on quickly. On the angle, mind you. But Lance Franklin has goal number 2 tonight. And the Swans are back in front.
The 2021 AFL Premiership season on ABC Radio and on ABC Sport Digital.
Yeah, those are the sounds of the second quarter in which Sydney came down from 25 points, or came back from 25 points down, rather, to lead it by 5 points at the half. 7-9-51 to 7-4-46. And as you heard there, Isaac Heaney subbed out with a hand injury, and James Bell coming into the game as medical sub for the Swans. No such move yet for Essendon. We have David Zaharakis listed as their medical sub. You're with Brett Sprigg alongside Tom Wilson calling the action. Our experts are Nick Davis and Ryan O'Keefe with Sophie Clappin on the boundary. Your texts are welcome, 0437 774 774 with the second half to get underway very shortly. Live score in the NRL around the grounds, Rabbitohs 18, Broncos 6 in that game to start National Rugby League round 5. And halftime in the NBL, Perth Wildcats 47, Sydney Kings 41. As I said, your texts are welcome, 0437 774 774. As far as team news for tomorrow night, a blockbuster at Adelaide Oval, Port Adelaide versus Richmond. Richmond has swung the axe here with Josh Caddy among 4 changes to the starting team. Daniel Rioli also having been dropped. Bashahuli comes in. Jack Ross has been recalled. And the Tigers, who flagged earlier in the week that Will Martin and Ryan Mansell will debut. Of course, Theon Prestia off with a hamstring and Camden McIntosh with a concussion. So those are the changes for Richmond. Meanwhile, for Port, they'll also have a debutant tomorrow night. Lockie Jones, the number 16 draft pick of last year. He'll play his first game. Ruckman Peter Adams has been omitted for the Power, along with last week's unused sub Miles Bergman. So those are the changes for tomorrow night. Should be a great game. Port Adelaide v Richmond at Adelaide Oval with Aaron Bryans and the team. Nice night here in Sydney. Had warm conditions this afternoon. Rather still and probably slightly cooler out there as we speak, but the players will take their place in the middle of the SCG very, very shortly. As I said, your text welcome, 0437 774 774. Nick Davis, Ryan O'Keefe, a nice fight back from the Swans in that second term.
Yeah, it was a fight back. I thought Essendon had a real opportunity to go and put a young side on the rise, really to the sword, and it was probably just like 5 unanswered goals in a game where you'd kicked 7 yourself. It's a little bit inexcusable. I just think that, and Ryan's picked up on it a lot during the call, Essendon's pressure around the footy has been really, really good. But when the Swans have had the opportunity and haven't been clean going forward, you just showed there in that quarter they were able to score pretty easily, and 5 unanswered goals. When you've got the lead, whether it's you've got to, as a team, feel that Essendon going, look, we've lost momentum. Instead of just keep on doing what we're doing offensively, let's just slow it down, try and have 5 minutes of no score and try and then get one ourselves. But to let the Swans back into it with 5 unanswered goals, they just didn't defend well enough off the ball. They let too many Swans lead ups. They were able to kick the ball through midfield, and then 3 or 4 occasions in the first and second quarters, Swans players having set shots, then able to find a better shot position with just Essendon just not defending inside 50.
That's a staggering one, is the amount of time Essendon has let the Swans have that, that better shot on goal, come about by just, slack manning or slack guarding of their defensive 50. I suppose of Essendon, the thing that's probably, from my point of view, it's stopping them from being a good, finals team is the defence of their game.
Yep.
Like, they can move the ball and they look fast and how good's this? And I think we probably spoke about this before the start of the game. The difference between how the game's evolved. You still got to be able to have that defensive side of the game, and because if good opposition's a good defence, will stop their attack. But if that's their only, if they've only got one club in the bag, and that's it. they've got no other way to stay in the game because the Swans, as you said, Swans just kicked 5 unanswered goals like that to get back in. There was no sort of part of Essendon's game to say, hang on, let's just dull the momentum a little bit, make it a bit of an arm wrestle, wait till the momentum comes back on our side, because when it does, we know we can score. That's our one wood. But when it's not in their hands, what can they do to stay in the game and not let opposition blow them apart?
Yeah, and then that's the result you get last week when everything's clicking. They can absolutely put teams to the cleaners when they got the momentum, but when that does shift back, and it does, because you get teams that are going to push back, where do they go to? And at the moment, they haven't got that fallback option.
Teams are back out there warming up. Second half not too far away. Off the SMS, Will asks, players who run out one way to kick usually hook the ball the other way and score points, not goals.
Agreed.
Why do they do it?
Don't know.
You're the kicking... Well, you're kicking coach.
Yeah, well, it's not from... not my doing. Just run straight.
Yeah.
I don't know why, especially if you're in distance. There's no point in putting it over the fence. Only got to go over the line.
CJ from Melbourne, on my way to a wind farm near Canberra. Sydney play a good fast brand of footy, and for a young side have surprisingly kept it up so far. Do you think it can stand up in finals?
Well, you can see when the heat's on, they're trying to be a little bit too cute. I think we talk about when the heat's really on from really good sides, it's about getting momentum forward and getting field position. So that extra handballs, and as I keep saying, that handball skill is the one that's causing the most turnovers for the Swans. So if they don't overuse it and actually get it going forward, because they've got some marking power and got some dangerous small forwards, let's play the game at the top of the goal square for them. So that's the finals footy that's going to have to come when we get to playing against the real big sides.
Do you think they need the old and the new in that sense of the Swans?
Yeah, you got to have gears. You got to have gears. You got to be able to read momentum. Whether it's the fact that there's no runner and it's not coming from the coach's box, you need strong leaders out there to understand. Look, let's just go long. Let's go down the line. I know we've trained all pre-season away, but we need to be able to react and read the game and adjust accordingly.
Karen from Sunshine in Melbourne simply says, come on, Sydney. Tim in Wodonga says, where have the Bombers been hiding Nick Cox? What a talent. Well, he hasn't really been hiding. He was picked up. He was their number 8 pick. I think it was their first overall pick in last year's draft.
He's from the Northern Knights. He was a real key. I coached against him when he was down there. Yeah, really good player, tall, athletic. Well, I think he's about 200
And he's got the opportunity in round one. He hasn't missed a game since his round 1 debut, so no hiding going on. He's had an opportunity early and impressed certainly in games so far. Quick one of the stats here, Tom Wilson.
Jake Lloyd had 17 in the first half. Callum Mills 15. Chad Warner and Braden Campbell both with 14. Zach Merritt had 16 for the Bombers. Kyle Langford busy. So too Darcy Parish. They've got 14 apiece.
It was billed as a heart stopper. This Thursday night game to start round 4, a potential heart stopper anyway, and it's lived up to expectations with lead changes. The Swans fight back in the second quarter, and you just get the feeling there's plenty more to come here throughout this second half. There'd be 20,000 or so in tonight at the SCG, perhaps north of that. To say a nice evening for footy, and there are plenty of twists and turns left between the Swans and the Bombers yet. Second half, seconds away here on Grandstand AFL, here live from the SCG. Players having a chat. Zach Merritt having a chat out there as well, in the middle to Braden Campbell. Tom Wilson, second half underway.
It's been a game of momentum, that's for sure. And the second half gets underway with a big bounce. Peter Wright hits it forward. In there was Stringer, overran it. Kennedy gathered, got the handball out to Warner. He goes for a kick towards centre half forward. Leading the race is Wicks. Eased under it by Guelphy. Guelphy goes again. Wicks is hot in his hammer. Managed to get the handball. Play on, says the umpire. Hines in there. His handball was partially smothered. The ball's on the left half forward flank for the Swans. A soccer off the ground from Guelphy. What's the umpire going to say? Oh, he's pinged him again.
Enough. I'm going to leave.
Oh, that's another tough call here at the SCG. Harry Cunningham's got it.
Don't sit on the fence, Tom.
Oh, I went hard enough the first time.
What are you supposed to do there as a player?
What's he meant to do?
Cunningham loads up for the Swans. Heppel in the hole, doing the defensive work. Wicks gets a hand pass free, straight to Guelphy though. Parrish involved as well. Back to Guelphy. Draws Dawson toward him. Goes to find Stilling, fights a hand pass forward to that player, Nick Cox, we just mentioned. They use the footy by hand here, Essendon. Smith works it forward here, Ham. With Donaldson and Woody running by in support. Opts to go instead towards Stilling, who kept running. 45 out. Donaldson and Woody here is 35 from goal. Slips over. Hand pass back to Ham. Shrugs one tackle. Combines back to Stilling. Now to A. McT. He's dumped again. 30 out. Swans with numbers around the football. But Donaldson and Woody tackles Dawson. Footy comes free. And we'll board up after all that. 35 away from Essendon's goal, Paddington end.
I don't think I've seen the ball travel 120 metres without a kick. It was extraordinary.
It was. They were streaming forward and no one had a shot on goal.
That's
ball up.
kick.
There's going to be a free kick going the way of Hickey, as called by Nick Davis. I understand you want to set it up perfectly, almost like when you're playing FIFA, you wanted that perfect shot in front of goal, but you do have to kick it at some point.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Shoot.
The words of Wayne Gretzky up here in the ABC box. Mark taken there by Justin McInerney. His kick's too short from McCartan, but he gathers on the half volley. Hewitt's got it centre wing. Members side of the ground, looking for Papley. He goes down the line, fisted away by Hine. Guelphy gathers. Hine goes again, back to Guelphy. They're under pressure here, the Bombers. Big tackle from Wicks. Gang tackle from the Swans, holding the ball. They had the option to take it out over the boundary line. I know they've been hot on it, but I think they would have got away with it this time. And going back into the play, they've been pinged. Wicks has the footy 65 from goal.
Just forward of halfway. Loads up towards that hot spot at goal here. Oh, juggled grab Reid. Second, third bite, pulls it in. And he'll take his set shot from no more than 20 out in the right forward pocket.
That's the kick. You just keep banging it there all day. Banging it all day. They've got that Hickey, Reid down there. They've got Franklin, and they're just... the amount of scoring shots come from that position is unbelievable.
They're getting rewarded for it, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly right. And it comes off some really good pressure here. Again, another forward half turnover.
No change to our halftime score after 3 minutes, but Sam Reid makes that change. That's his second goal of the night. And the Swans lead by 11 points, 8-9-57 to 7-4-46. We've played 3.5 minutes here in the third quarter on Grandstand AFL.
Yeah, forward half turnover and good pressure. And from a couple of the Swans players, we haven't called much at all. Wicks has been quiet after a good game last week. Hine's done a fantastic job in the first half on Papley. McDonald, we haven't called much either at all. The Swans there...
So what you're saying is the 4 week in a row rising star prospects are probably shot with McDonald and Wicks. Probably won't be up there to keep that streak alive.
Well, yeah, the streak might be over. But look, I'm pretty sure a win would be sufficient enough. And look, they're in a battle. They've got to keep going because the momentum again will swing. Essendon will go on their run. It's just going to be the side that can stop the other team's momentum quickly, get it back on their terms. Is going to be able to come out on top here.
Essendon kicked the first, the Swans the next 2, Essendon the next 6. Now the Swans the next 6. The momentum is big in 2021. Kennedy's got the footy, tackled by Parrish. His quick kick goes to Hickey. He squibbles one forward, as does Mills, inside the forward 50. Left half forward flank. Guelphy tried to soccer it as well. Wicks is there. It goes out over the boundary line. We'll have a throw in left half forward flank. The Swans are up by 11 points, 4.5 minutes into this third term.
That's all you want out of the centre bounce. Get it going forward. It doesn't have to be pretty. Now you've got a forward 50 stoppage.
All thrown in. Right to the front. McGrath pulled off the kick. It's up towards Smith, who's wrapped up in the Kennedy tackle. Ball jars free. Parrish to Hind. Breaks free of Warner. Kicks for distance. Up the O'Reilly wing. Getting out the back, Cale Hooker. Tried to work it forward by hand to Stringer. McInerney in defence there for the Swans. Tracks back by foot. Looks at the options. He goes to Hewitt. Out wide now. Florent hand pass back inboard. McInerney gets it back to Florent from the outer logo. On the 45, goes to centre half forward. Straight down the throat of Merritt. Intercept mark taken on the half back line for Essendon.
It's that extra handball they needed. It puts the kicker under pressure. And then kick it to Turnover City at the top of the 50.
They've worked their way all the way to centre wing. Members side of the ground. Cox goes to McDonald, Tip and Woody for the Bombers. Can assess his options. Laverde has pointed forward. That's where he's going to go. McDonald, Tip and Woody to centre half forward. Has he got the kick perfect? Just short of Hooker as Warner jumped back into space, takes intercept mark. Kicks to Rampy, right half back flank. Asking his teammates to move. Rampy. He's going to go long towards the logo. Reed, he's got the hot hands and the hot boot. Fisted away. Bell's waiting. Can he get the handball? Good tackle there from Parrish. Holding it in. Right in the middle of the logo. We've got a Swan on the bottom of the pack, but they're going to ball it up. The Swans, they lead by 11.6 minutes into this third term.
Up it goes. Wright slaps it down. Warner somehow traps it. Spoots a ball. Heppel shut out of it by Goulden and wins the free kick accordingly.
It's there, but I'd rather just see it a contest.
Tyson Heppel playing off the half-back line on his return. On that left boot. Right to Hickey. Third man up was Dawson for the Sydney Swans. Marks just behind the wing commentary side.
He's been an important player. Dawson being able to fill this role has allowed Mills to play more midfield time.
Inside forward 50 from the boot of Dawson. Franklin wins it down towards Warner. Reed a hand pass. There is Mills. Right on the paint of 50. On the bounce to Hewitt. Comes wide. Florent beaten through the air. Great work by Ridley. Bombers can rebound the football. Ridley out wide. Ham a little kick. In fact, he receives the mark on the outer side. Getting it from Ridley. And it's Sydney who keep an 11-point lead. 7.5 gone third term.
That kick from it's got to go deep.
Yep.
It's too shallow. Didn't break the 50, and now look what it's caused, turnover.
McGrath, bit of kick to kick here with Jordan Ridley. He goes short, finds Parrish.
Just want to see Essendon, when they get turnovers cross half-back, try and punch through and take a little bit more ground before they go into this slow play.
Parrish decides to go long now inside the forward 50. Hooker didn't quite get hands to it. McCartan did. Ends up out over the boundary line, taken over by Callum Mills. Right half forward flank for the Bombers. 8 minutes into this third quarter, they trail by 11 points.
The other thing I like to see teams, when they do have the possession sort of in that corridor, not to dump it out wide and then get held up.
Yep.
Better be held up in the corridor. Opens up more of the ground.
On the stoppage, Langford, first hands not clean though. Heppel dumped in the Wicks tackle. Ball jars free. Bombers go by hand inside 50 again. It's a hot footy. Cunningham out there as well. Tackled by Waterman. Florent gets there. It's going to be a free kick. Coming back to that earlier situation with Cunningham and Waterman. Didn't have the football, Cunningham, so he gets the free kick. In fact, goes by hand to Dawson, and the Swans rebound.
Looking for Reed. He got hands to it. We've got a runner out there. It's Parker. He's leading in the race. Tries to gather in front of Ridley. Does very well. Chucks it on the right boot long. Franklin's one-on-one. Can't quite take the mark. Gathered by Hyde. Wicks is there. Couldn't gather first attempt. Gets it now. Quick handball. A centering ball from Blakey, but it's straight to the opposition.
Go fast now. This is where I want to see him try and punch through. That kick, Ryan, I don't like it.
It dumps it wide and you get held up.
Yep.
And you cut off half the ground.
Cox to Laverde. It's his 50th game tonight for the Bombers. Now a short ball to Hind, the former Saint. Still inside defensive 50, Randwick end. And just going short by foot this time, Francis. A slow, considered approach here from the Bombers. They trail by 11 points. That's Sydney's lead. Francis wheels around towards a pack on the broadcast side. Sam Reid opted to spoil rather than mark. Lloyd slaps it down towards Cunningham and he runs out of space. We'll throw it back in front of the Essendon bench on the members' wing. 8-9-57 the Swans. They lead Essendon 7-4-46. 10 go on third term here on Grandstand AFL.
John Longmire down on the bench with the players. We know Isaac Heaney's been subbed out of the game with a hand injury. Parker gathers right in front of the interchange gates. Back to McInerney. Here's Campbell on that trusty left boot. It's long to right half forward. Heppel against Wicks. Both kept their feet. Heppel's there, but the Swans have numbers. McDonald's running forward. Ball remains in dispute. Heppel's in there. Hind has been busy in this quarter. He really takes a bounce. This is Dare. A second one. He's running straight through the middle of the SCG. He's taking everyone on. Finally chucks it on the left boot. A dribble kick forward. Didn't help Waterman. Here Hind goes again. Kicks forward looking for Stringer. What play from Nick Hind. Brilliant.
Bang, straight up the middle of the ground.
Straight up the middle. Call for it. He took enough bounces. He bounced it enough he could have run from Sydney to Melbourne.
It's like every
he bounced it 7 times in the space of 4 metres. But be more aggressive. There's a window of opportunity off turnover where the opposition aren't set up defensively to go down the middle and take ground. Well done. He's done a really good job on Papley defensively, and offensively there, he got his team going in the right direction.
Stringer from 30 metres out on a slight angle to stop the run of Swans goals. He's got his third. Much needed for Essendon. It's been a long break, but they finally get their eighth. They're 8-4-52, a 5-point deficit. Sydney 8-9-57, 11 minutes gone in this third term.
I like that. I like that move. I reckon they've had control of the quarter for most of it, but because they've gone sideways, they've intercepted and sort of dumped it wide and held on to it. Well, they have stopped a bit of momentum from the Swans, but that time they're high and straight through the middle, especially here at the SCG. If you can go straight down the seam. He did take plenty of bounces, but he showed a clean pair of heels. Stringer, who's spent a little bit of time in some of the centre bounces, is a matchup down there for the Swans. On Rampy, got him on the lead, and a good finish.
Good vision from Nick Hind. Would you say hindsight's a wonderful thing? Essendon closed the gap. 5 points on the restart. Parker out of the middle. Goes up the corridor. Beaten was Papley. Parker Soccer's back inside forward 50. Sliding in Laverde. Francis works it forward. Straight to Franklin, though. Wrapped up by the much smaller McGrath. Ball bubbles free. Essendon jumpers in defence. Ridley back to Francis. From beyond defensive 50 towards the outer side. Campbell up against Perkins. This time Perkins wins that battle.
I love him. I love the way he goes about it.
The chest mark just forward of right half back.
Perkins goes long looking for Hooker. McCartan's there. Off hands. In dispute. Goes again. Almost tackled without the footy. He's begging with the umpire for a free kick. No one's listening there. We'll have a boundary throw in 70 metres around from the Bombers' goal on the right half forward flank.
Game number 2, Archie Perkins. Good on ya.
Certainly drafted some talent, Essendon. Seeing it on display tonight. A run of 6 goals there between the first and second quarters. Langford handballs to Ham. He goes on the left boot. Long inside the forward 50. It's out over the back, and Hooker takes the mark. 15 metres out, 45-degree angle. Now, we know he's missed an opportunity, an important one earlier, Nick Davis.
Not a gimme.
The umpire is bringing him around on the angle.
The Swans' defenders have looked a bit shaky as it's come in a bit deeper. The one, against especially a couple of Essendon's keys. They've taken a few contested marks against.
This is interesting.
Hooker bends it around on his left boot with the snap from 20 out. He's got number 2, and it's 2 in a row for Essendon, and they hit the lead. 9-4-58, Sydney 8-9-57, 14 minutes gone into this third term.
It just shows a blueprint for Essendon.
Yeah,
just,
both sides, mate, I think.
Get it in deep. Yeah. The defenders are a bit shaky one-on-one, so especially, Hooker, Stringer, these guys have really taken up to the Swans defenders.
Yeah, Perkins has been great, but it's been the side that's controlled and been clean around the scramble and held the outside. Both the Swans, again, sort of committing 2 numbers on the inside. Essendon on the first scramble were able to hand pass around the back and get long. And then there, off a stoppage, again, set up off the back, kicking in nice and deep. But plenty of ways to score. You can take a mark, you can get a free kick, score off a crumb. Opens up a world of scoring options.
14 and a half gone, third term. Essendon back in front. Reid doing the right work now. Up against Cox. Oh, clever kick over his... it's a bicycle kick from Luke Parker. Not for the first time either. Swansea get it forward of halfway. Goulden goes back to Parker. Stabs it inside forward 50, or it's marked by Warner. 40 out, slightly to the right. A chance for the Swans to get one back.
Be a little outlier of the game. Looking 2 goals to Essendon. If the Swans can, Chad Warner can go back and kick this, make a bit of a statement.
By the way, word from downstairs that it is a broken hand for Isaac Heaney. John Longmire confirmed that during a television coverage at half-time. So it is not good news. He was subbed out during the second quarter as Warner's set shot misses. It hits the post on the right-hand side. That means our scores are level. 8-10-58 the Swans. Essendon 9-4-58. 16 going third quarter here on ABC Grandstand AFL.
Ridley goes short to Langford, deep in the left back pocket. He's not wasting any time, looking for Heppel. They got 2-on-1. Almost hit Snelling in the face. Now the handball receive goes to Heppel. Kicks long, it's a 2-on-1. Waterman.
Free kick.
Yep. Good call, Nick Davis. Push in the back. Probably unnecessary considering he was a 2-1 against. Goes short to Merritt. 65 metres from goal. Scores level. They're going to run at it here, the Bombers. Too easy, Nick Cox. They had 3 of them. They could have raffled it. He marks 35 metres out directly in front.
Yeah.
He's come from the right. I think he was Sam Reid.
He was. And this is an important one where you have the 2 non-genuine ruckmen there. And if he was rucking, well done, Pebs. He was rucking against Sam Reid and floated forward.
Well, Reedy was in on he had to take the mark.
Yeah.
It was given the free kick. And what ended up happening, Ramps has left had gone down and hasn't manned up Reedy's player who went forward.
Cox comes in 35 metres out directly in front. He kicked the first one on the left. He sprays this one with the right. Out to the right-hand side, they regain the lead. They're 9-5-59. Sydney 8-10-58. 17 minutes gone in this third term.
Costly miss.
Jake Lloyd on kick-out duties. Looks devoid of options. Buys some space in the right back pocket. Thumps it long up the corridor. Reid up in front. Big overhead grab. This time he wins the contest against Cox, who kicked it behind a short time ago. Mills now on the angle. Finds Cunningham. Logo commentary side. They're streaming forward here for the Sydney Swans. Lloyd gets in space. And the end of a short kick from Cunningham. Now a 2-time best and fairest winner, 2018 and 2020, Jake Lloyd. Thumps it towards the arc. Up goes Logan McDonald. It comes through his fingertips and out of bounds for a throw-in. 35 around from the right behind post. It's Sydney's attacking end, the Randwick end of the SCG. But it's Essendon who leads 9-5-59 to 8-10-58. 18 minutes played here in this third quarter.
The sting of the game's gone out of it, where the first half was played at breakneck speed. Now it's just that who can grind away, get one of those real sort of hard-earned goals from now. It's not going to be this
one
fast-flowing shootout.
This is one off the ball. Luke Parker was actually in that ruck contest against Cox. And Guelphy's been pinged here for holding on to Tom Papley away from the footy. He's going to have a shot. It's probably going to take a kick of about 52 metres on an angle harsher than 45 degrees in the right half.
There, he didn't need to do it, but he's been quiet. I'm not sure.
Yeah, he needs the lift.
That's how many possessions he's had. He's been very quiet.
5.
Papley runs to 50. He's been quiet, but he's about to get loud. Tommy Papley. He's on the board. And that puts Sydney back in front, 9-10-64. Essendon 9-5-59, 19 minutes gone in the third term.
Spot on the call, Ryan. The game had sort of, the sting had gone out of it. It was just a bit of a to and fro, and it was someone that was going to get a lucky bounce or a free kick, and it went the Swans' way.
Well, this is a really good test for both teams to see where they are. Who can grind away the win? It looks like, unless something dramatically changes in the way the game's played at the moment, it's going to be who can win, who can grind it out. And this is probably, what a finals type will sort of look like.
7 lead changes so far, by my count.
Yeah. But Tom Papley needs the lift. He got a goal there. Lucky free kick, I believe. But he's spending more time on the ground and, not keeping his feet. And as a small forward, that's probably the only criticism I've got for his game tonight is you've got to stay on your feet and keep involved in the game.
Not stay alive.
Not take yourself out of it.
About to hit time
Free
on
kick.
quarter 3. Free kick will go the Swans' way. Parker plays on by hand quickly. Kennedy loads up. Inside forward 50. Needs a jumper. It's fisted away and out of bounds for a throw-in deep in the right forward pocket at the Swans' attacking end.
I like that play. As I said, we'll keep banging on about it all night, but you get it in there now. You've got a real dangerous situation here for Essendon.
Umpire right up against the right behind post boundary throwing. McDonald in the ruck. Guelphy's fisted that away in a contest. Now, I don't know if he actually had any other choice but to thump it out over the boundary line. I don't mind that call. because it was clear his intention, not necessarily a ball in dispute.
Yeah, he didn't disguise that one well.
Mills has got the free kick. Right forward pocket. He's going to run around on his left boot. Mills chucks it across.
I don't like that. Kick it on your preferred side.
When he's such a beautiful kick, he did manage to sneak it in for a minor score there, 9-11-65. Essendon, 9-5-59. We're into time on here in the third term.
Saw Darcy Parish kick an absolute beauty on the run from there earlier.
Drop punt.
Yep. 6 points the Swans' way. It comes beyond offensive 50, and Reid takes the intercept mark just forward to the wing. So the Swans just locking the ball in their attacking half.
He's been really influential. Probably the last couple of quarters, been really good.
Runs around Hooker on the mark. It's a flat ball inside forward 50. It works out well, though. And up and marking with the overhead grab, Errol Goulden is 40 out on an angle slightly better than 45 degrees.
Essendon players want to keep their wits about them here. They're a lot more attentive. Zach Merritt just pointing to the space behind the man on the mark. Interesting shot here. His last one, he's just sort of spun out of it, let the shoulders follow the leg around. If he keeps his chest over the ball here.
Yeah, 2 behinds so far tonight. The young left footer lays into it from just inside 50 and misses it.
He's definitely
missed the lot.
He's definitely out of left foot as part of it. He's got those last 2 shots on goal he's had.
No change to our
see you
score.
on Tuesday, Errol.
It's hit the behind post, so it's an Essendon ball. No change to our score. 65 plays 59. 22 minutes gone third quarter here at the SCG.
I'll tell you what, Swans have taken 17 marks inside 50 compared to Essendon's 8. So this is a real concern from Essendon. They keep giving up these marks.
Not quite getting punished at the moment. Brandon Zerk-Thatcher, he might. Free kick in the end. Ends up with Francis. Just nursed under the foot of the umpire, called a push. He's got it at right half back flank for Essendon. Out of sight of the ground here at the SCG. It's going to go long. The crowd already cheering. That's over the fence.
Wow.
Well off the side of the boot. Coach Ben Rutten miffed. Luke Parker has the footy. Goes short to Cunningham. Still 70 metres from goal. Ball on the outer side of the ground here at the SCG.
Wheels around now. Up inside forward 50. Reid from the back, but he was coming from too far back. The intercept mark is taken by Nick Cox, wearing a red sash. So Essendon just settling things down for the time being. Cox in the right back pocket. Loads up. Beyond offensive 50, wants to find Harrison Jones, who's taken the grab. Just behind the wing in front of the O'Reilly stand on the eastern side.
Just going, don't know about this, going back.
Going back to Ridley. They'll switch here across the defensive goal mouth. Francis.
Now the Swans are just pressing him, and now they've lost ground and held him up.
It's stuck.
And he's got Laverty commentary side, but also out there Hine. So Hine runs onto the boot, loose ball in space. On the right back flank, up the outer side of the ground, right reaching in from the side, and he will give away the free kick, that time opposed to Jordan Dawson. So it's a Sydney Swans free kick from left half back, and it's the Swans who keep a 6-point lead, 24 gone in quarter number 3.
Tough period for Peter Wright. There's quite a few one-on-ones in a row. Most notably to Reid a little bit earlier. Francis, he flew. Got the handball back from Hine. Handballs to McGrath. Jeez, he got away from 3 Sydney players. That was quick. Wright goes at it again. He brings it down. Well done. Short ball towards the top of the 50. Ends up with Hooker. He's 55 metres out.
Sure what he's waiting for.
He's going to handball it to the running machine in Hine. He lowers the yards. Perfect pass. Harrison Jones takes the mark. 35 metres out in a 45-degree angle.
Done.
Don't know how he got left on his own inside 50 there. He's come from the crumb too, Harrison Jones.
He did. He worked hard.
There's another display of Essendon being much better off crumb off a marking contest.
They haven't. Look, they haven't. There's a discrepancy in the marks inside 50, but it hasn't been. It's just been through a lack of ball in there. I think when the Essendon have got it, they've got the Swans defenders on toast.
Harrison Jones to tie it up. 35 metres out. He kicked the ball inside forward 50 cleanly. That was pure. He's got his first of the night. Scores level here at the SCG, 10-5-65. Essendon, Sydney, 9-11-65. 25 minutes gone in the third term.
A lot was spoken about in the pre-game for the Swans youngsters, but Nick Cox playing well, Archie Perkins playing well, Harrison Jones playing well. There's a lot to like if you're on the Essendon side of the dial as well.
The voice of Nick Davis on Grandstand AFL. Alongside him, Ryan O'Keefe. As Tom Wilson said, scores level. 7 lead changes to this point in the game. And it's all still to play for here on Thursday night to start AFL round 4. Your texts are always welcome. 0437 774 774. As we're back underway in the middle. Hickey a post to right. Hickey takes out of the ruck. Hick smothered by right though. And Stringer just picks it up. Says thank you very much. Hand pass off to Smith. On the run from 40. Can he finish it off? No. And they are in front by a solitary behind here, Essendon. 10-6-66. The Swans are 9-11-65. 26 and a half played third quarter here at the Sydney Cricket Ground.
Seesawing contest here at the SCG. Jordan Dawson from the kick out. Goes out of side to Rampy. Long down the wing looking for Hickey. Almost ragdolled Peter Wright.
Did.
The umpire saw it. Wright wins the free kick. Just defensive side of centre wing for the Bombers. He's going to go back to the skipper in Heppel.
And they're persisting with this.
Asked to play on by the umpire. Now he goes long, just past the logo. Perkins thought about flying. And it just fell in the lap of Braden Ham, the little guy. He plays on now, runs onto his left boot, long inside the forward 50. They're going to have a run at it. No, they're not. Well shepherded in the background. Tom McCartan was the only one who really had a good look at it, and he takes the mark. Coming out of defence, looking for McDonald. Under pressure, he's wrapped up by Laverde. He had time. The umpire, lucky. Wow, that's a lot of leeway.
He was lucky.
We'll have a ball up 65 metres from the Bombers' goal on left half forward flank.
Essendon by a point. Ball in the air. Clapped down, Parker for the Swans, beaten to it by Smith, and now McGrath shoved out of play, ball and all by Jake Lloyd. Will throw it back in right near the paint of 50, Paddington end. That's Essendon's attacking end. Seeing if they can have the final say in this third quarter. Toss back in, Rucks go to it. Wright taps it down. Kennedy stolen away from him. Snelling thumps it high inside forward 50 rather hurriedly for the Bombers. But Ultimate Woody is lurking as well. Beats Cunningham to it. Cunningham has the last laugh though. Ball jars free. With Ultimate Woody goes in again. Stringer had over the football. Good courage. Kennedy off to Lloyd. And now it's going to come back here.
High.
Or high contact on Josh Kennedy before all of that. So we'll come back to the Sydney Swans co-skipper. Essendon by a point. 29 played third quarter here in the dying seconds of his third term at the SCG.
Kennedy just going to pump it long towards the wing. McDonald, Wright, all get a run at it. Falls out the back to Laverde. He dropped the footy. Play on, says the umpire. Well gathered by Ridley. Merritt, quick kick inside the forward 50. It's a dangerous ball. McCartan got it to the skipper in Kennedy. As the siren sounds at three-quarter time here at the SCG. A seesawing match we've got. Essendon, they lead by a point. They're 10-6-66. Sydney, 9-11-65.
For the Bombers, Stringer has 3 goals. Cale Hooker has 2. Singles for Cox, Jones, Parrish, Smith and Waterman. Meanwhile, for the Sydney Swans in this game so far, a couple of goals apiece to Sam Reid and Lance Franklin, while Florent, McInerney, Mills, Papley and Parker are also on the board by way of majors. It's Essendon by a point at the final change. What a finish coming up to start AFL round 4 on this Thursday night. Live from the Harbour City, this is Grandstand AFL.
ABC iView is proud to premiere the gripping new Australian drama, Wakefield. Nick, the psychiatric nurse, is exceptionally good at his job. He has a gift for soothing the afflicted. He can reach the unreachable. But now, his grip on his own sanity is slipping away. And slowly but surely, the mysterious reasons why also unravel.
Got a bad feeling.
Wakefield. Binge the whole series on ABC iView.
The 2021 AFL Premiership season on ABC Radio and on ABC Sport Digital.
Loads up towards that hot spot at goal here. Oh, juggled grab Reid. Second, third bite, pulls it in. Going to take his set shot from no more than 20 out in the right forward pocket. No change to our halftime score after 3 minutes, but Sam Reid makes that change. That's his second goal of the night.
Hind has been busy in this quarter. He takes a bounce. This is Dare. A second one. He's running straight through the middle of the SCG, taking everyone on. Finally chucks it on the left boot. A dribble kick forward. Didn't help Waterman. Here Hind goes again. Kicks forward looking for Stringer. What play from Nick Hind. Brilliant. Stringer from 30 metres out on a slight angle to stop the run of Swans goals. He's got his third. And he goes on the left boot, long inside the forward 50. It's out over the back, and Hooker takes the mark. Hooker bends it around on his left boot with the snap from 20 out. He's got number 2, and it's 2 in a row for Essendon, and they hit the lead. Guelphy's been pinged here for holding on to Tom Papley away from the footy. He's going to have a shot. It's probably going to take a kick of about 52 metres. Papley runs to 50. He's been quiet, but he's about to get loud. Tommy Papley. He's on the board. To the running machine in Hind. He lowers the yards. Perfect pass. Harrison Jones takes the mark. Harrison Jones to tie it up. 35 metres out. That was pure.
The 2021 AFL Premiership season on ABC Radio and on ABC Sport Digital.
It is a seesawing affair here in Sydney. At one stage, 7-2 Essendon's way. That same bit of momentum went the Swans' way, and Essendon have just got their noses in front due to a goal late in that third quarter. 1 point is their lead. After 8 points at quarter time, Sydney's lead was 5 at the half. Essendon by 1 point here at three-quarter time. Brett Sprigg alongside Tom Wilson calling the action. We'll check in downstairs with Sophie Clappin very shortly on the boundary. And our experts, Nick Davis and Ryan O'Keefe.
Well, it's a real arm wrestle now, as we sort of spoke about the sting, or that real high-speed shootout of the first half is definitely slowed down. So it's going to be the team who can grind it out and make the most of the opportunities, keep the turnovers down. You can see both teams have started to be a little bit more conservative the way they move the ball. That kick that we keep harping on is when they've got possession on the in the corridor and they keep dumping it wide and get held up, and then that's obviously going to slow the scoring down as well. So it's a little bit of that risk and reward. Who's going to take that risk, go inside, punch through the defence and create scoring opportunities? It's going to be a key. But I think this is a real test for both teams. As we said, they can score fast, and when things are going and high-flowing, it works well. But when they're being held up, can they find avenues to score, and can they stop the opposition from scoring? So this is a real test for both teams, both young teams. And the young players have been standing up.
Yeah, it's a great call. The risk versus reward is going to be the one. I think we saw there with Hind running and bouncing through the middle, it opened up the Swans. And vice versa. When the Swans have been aggressive with their ball movement, Essendon found it difficult to defend. Look, centre clearance, if probably it's been an even split with the rucks. If one of those guys maybe look to either Hickey or Wright to get on top here and give first use out of the middle. But you're right, it's going to come down to those opportunities and making the most of them. Both sides then, probably in the back half slowed up their ball movement. When they're able to hit 20 metres out in front, put each other's defence under pressure, they both caved in, so it's going to be an interesting quarter.
Isaac Heaney was subbed out in the second quarter with what's confirmed to be a broken hand, so not good news from a Sydney point of view there. By the way, around the grounds, Rugby League, South Sydney 28, the Broncos 6. That's midway through the second half at Stadium Australia. Tom Wilson has some stats to three-quarter time here.
Leading all comers is Luke Parker with 21, Callum Mills with 20, Chad Warner continuing his red-hot form. He's got 20 as well, and Jake Lloyd's got 19. For the Bombers, Jordan Ridley with 21, Zach Merritt 19, Dyson Heppel 18, as well as Darcy Parish, who's got 18 as well as a goal.
Good finish in the NBL. The Perth Wildcats up by 3 with 2 seconds left against the Sydney Kings. That may be a full-time score, but 2 seconds can make all the difference, as you basketball lovers know. So hopefully we're in for as good a finish here between the Sydney Swans and Essendon to open up AFL round 4.
Is the Wildcats your team, Spriggan?
Yeah, I covered them for a few years.
Yeah.
And they get a good crowd still over in Perth. So updating the score for those that follow that. I'll wait till it's full-time, though. 4-term underway here. All eyes on the footy as Warner slides in courageously for the Swans. They win the first clearance of this final quarter. Going the spoil, the back Heppel. Papley on the loose football, though, for the Swans. Back to Hickey. Backtracks to Parker. Dummy to hand pass. Now kicks inside forward. 50. Franklin in from the side. Second, third bite. Can't pour it in. Wicks taken high. Nothing doing. Picked up again by Buddy. Off that left boot. High in the air. Mills outnumbered at ground level. Bombers defenders go crashing in. Waiting for it to come out here. Wicks onto it again. Snap, spun around on the tackle. He misses to the left-hand side, which, if nothing else, means we are locked up. 9-12 to 10-6. It's 66 apiece inside the opening 45 seconds of this final term.
I would have loved Buddy to stick the Dukes up there and just take an easy mark over his head and trying to do the chest. But, again, it was a bit of overhandball until Parksy slammed it on the boot, got it forward and created a bit of urgency and a bit of dangerous scoring opportunity.
Laverde goes inboard. Turnover. Lloyd got the footy, kicks towards centre half forward. Darcy Parish, brave, did what he had to, took a nice mark.
I like that.
Quickly.
I like that.
Looking for McDonald, Tippin, Woody.
I like that. Oh.
Going to be a free kick against Lloyd.
Get going now.
Had his back to the footy. Centre circle, short to McGrath, handballs it quickly to Hind. He lowers the eyes. He's got the target. Waterman takes the mark. 40 metres out in a slight angle.
A bit of a change. Last quarter, they were dumping that down here to the flank. Straight through the middle. Dangerous kick to Tip and Woody. Put the defence under pressure. Well done there. I think it was McGrath. Lowered the eyes.
It's not too dangerous.
It's not. No,
like if you can execute your skill, it's all right. The option was there.
Alec Waterman moves to his left boot.
That's
that
a nice
is
left
a
footer.
Perfect kick and a perfect start to the fourth quarter. He's got his second. Essendon move out to a 6-point lead. They're 11-6-72. Sydney 9-12-66. 2 minutes gone in this fourth quarter.
Nick Hind it was going through the middle and going inside 50. He's been a prime mover. He's got the team going forward. And Pebs, you wanted a nice left foot kick. That was a beautiful finish.
Sensational. You're right. The team that's going to go through the corridor, own the corridor, it becomes really, really dangerous scoring for them.
In case you're holding your breath, NBL full-time, Perth 73, Sydney 69. There you go. Going to put that away for the night.
Similar scoreboard here.
Close finish. We'll wait for the official crowd. I think it's just under 28,000. That was the word that I heard from downstairs with Sophie Clappin a short time ago. We'll check in with Soph shortly. On the restart, Hickey goes up early. Parish here for the Bombers. They win the clearance. Merritt goes by foot towards the paint of 50. Bouncing away from Snelling. Dawson goes with him up against the boundary line. Did well, did Dawson. Turned him inside out. Floats a hand pass further afield. Ooh. Mills crunched into from behind by Merritt. Umpire says play on somehow. Snelling gets there first for the Bombers. Can they go inside 50 again? Tracking back in space. Smith marks right on the paint. Devon Smith is 50 out in the left forward pocket.
Let's throw it up in the mixer here. 20 out.
Signed a new 2-year deal during the week, end of 2023 for the former Giant. Best and fairest winner of 3 years ago.
He's been good.
He's going to size up the goals from there. He starts his run up from behind the boundary line. Runs around the man on the mark. Lays into this. Top of the goal square. Up they go in defence. Hickey. Parker again tries to hack it out of the air. Snelling with an on-tip, and Woody lays the tackle as well on the ball carrier down there in Hewitt, and will ball it up right up alongside the left behind post deep in the Essendon attacking area.
Sorting out who the ruckmen are here. Stringer v Hickey. Hickey knocks it down. Dangerous almost. Hooker's there. Gets a handball to the top of the goal square. Going in hard was Blakey, wrapped up immediately by two Bombers. No prior opportunity. We'll have a ball up at the top of the goal square, 15 metres out.
That was a great ground ball.
It was.
Take the ball, be clean, couldn't fumble there.
Hickey just pulled it out of the ruck and is wrapped up immediately. That used to be holding the ball, not anymore.
Yeah.
It still is if you can't get rid of it.
Yeah.
Bombers by 6 points. 11-6 plays 9-12. Ball in the air from traffic. Warner does well. Kicks beyond defensive 50 here for the Swans. Crashing in from the side, Laverde. Bell on the end of it here for the Sydney Swans. Up the line to Papley. In a bit of space coming the other way. Great work it was by Ridley. Takes it on the bounce. Gets away from Blakey. High ball towards half forward. Only Swans jumpers back there. Rode by Lloyd at the back. A push has been paid here to go the Sydney Swans way. Hickey it was, apparently.
Oh, don't dump it there.
Didn't really see all that. Smith, I think, was the... it's going to be 50 as well.
I reckon Hickey got impeded by his teammate.
Yeah, I think
won a free kick.
Yeah, and is Smith getting penalised here for the verbal as they play on quickly now. Warner marks just inside 50, Paddington end. Lays it off by hand, Dawson, on that raking left boot. Lowers the eyes here for Bell, reaching to his right. Can't pull in the grab. Heppel up against the boundary line and Bell, and eventually will throw it back in. 35 around from goal at that end of the SCG. The Swans attacking towards that end of the ground in front of the Bradman and Noble stands, but it's Essendon who lead by 6 points. 6 gone, final term here on Grandstand AFL.
Now, that was 50 because the player swapped on the mark. You're not allowed to swap out. That's why.
Reed with the hit out. Parker tackled immediately. Dyson Heppel kicks towards the boundary line.
Please don't.
He's going to get pinged.
He's got to be. It has to
He's
be.
going to be pinged.
At least they'll be consistent.
That's what I was about to say.
Exactly. At least you know where you stand.
Do you reckon the umpire feels the moment? Like it's going to have the crowd's building. What's going to happen? This is me.
Well, they can't give Holden the ball now. They don't pay that anymore. So this is the new play up to the crowd. But they have been consistent. So you know where you stand.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
what all you want as a player.
That's fair enough.
They have called it the same all night. Rampy, he's got the ball just defensive side of the logo, members side of the ground. Goes onto that left boot. Well done from McInerney. Created some space for McCartan, who took the mark.
Oh, top of the square.
Goes looking for Franklin. Reed got in the way. Spoiled his teammate. Ball in dispute. McInerney's there. McGrath's at the bottom of the pack. It's dribbling there. Franklin is waiting on the outside if it ever comes out. McGrath in there as well. Working hard in there again is McInerney. He's got the footy. Was that high? It was. Against McGrath.
Don't push and shove. You don't need to.
Rewarded for repeat efforts there. It was Justin McInerney. He's going to have a shot 35 metres out. He's in the left forward pocket, though, on the pay to the boundary.
Now, would McCartan have kicked that ball there if it was not Body Franklin?
Nope.
That's the only thing. Like, sometimes you can gravitate, which all big key forwards do. They gravitate the ball, and sometimes they get balls kicked to them when they shouldn't really be.
McInerney is going to do the snap kick, setting up that way.
Oh, the mouth guard's out.
Making sure.
I never get that.
I don't get that.
He runs around on that right boot. He snaps set, and you can hear the crowd, and he's got his second. He's fired up. He's real happy with that one, Justin McInerney. The Swans are back level. 10-12-72. Essendon 11-6, 72. 8 minutes gone in the final term.
This is coming a real arm wrestle game, so it's gonna go down. What did we say before the game? The last few games with Essendon and Sydney have been
the last 8 or 10 have been under a goal.
So
last 5, whatever. Yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be key moments. It's going to be intentional out of bounds. It's going to be a high tackle. You just got to keep your nose clean out here tonight, I think, and don't give away. It was a 50-metre penalty. You can't give an inch in these games. You got to make sure that you keep your nose clean. Play good tough footy. Don't give away free kicks. Play in front. Finish your goals as McInerney did.
Another of those impressive young players. Just his 13th AFL game, Justin McInerney. Hickey thumps it away from the centre bounce. Bell to Parker running by. Merritt for company. Loose footy now. Good pressure for Merritt. Papley, though, inside forward 50. Mops it up. He's tackled by Hine. Shrugs the tackle. Kicks inboard now for Bell. In from behind. McGrath as well. McDonald. And pushed off the kick all the way down there was Wicks, and it will be out of bounds for a throw-in. 20 metres around from that right behind post at Sydney's attacking end. It scores a level. 10-12 plays 11-6. It's 72 apiece. 9.5 gone. Final quarter.
Boundary throw in. Oh, all on his own. Taking it out of the ruck was Cox. Pumps it on the left foot out to centre wing. Ball's in dispute. Under pressure there is Hewitt. He had his arm tackled. That's holding the ball. Well done from Stringer. Wrapped him up with a tight tackle, got his right arm, and he just dropped the ball, but he's dropped his bundle and kicked it straight to Callum Mills.
They come up the line. The Swans, a slow considered approach. Here's Luke Parker. Possession number 25 for him. Little 1-2 hand there with Hewitt. Hewitt tackled by Merritt. Footy comes loose as well. Merritt rewarded. Soccer's into space here at half forward for the Bombers. Getting back there in defence. Overrun by Campbell. That could be costly. Hand pass to Tipper Woody. He's inside forward 50. Looks at the options now. Has to get around Lloyd. Goes by hand. Stringer on the bounce. Got rid of Mills. Campbell mops up here for the Sydney Swans. In fact, it was Parker. Kick comes towards Mills. Still alive here for the Swans. Hand pass goes toward the boundary line. Essendon players want deliberate. They won't get it.
I tell you what, the Swans are going to put away the handball. Like the extra hand, no need to. Or playing on when you got control. You know, Essendon, they're a bit questionable on their sort of defensive marking.
Make them defend.
Make them defend.
Boundary throw in. Cox wins it out, knocks it down to Ham. All the way back to Langford. Shrugged a tackle, got it on his left boot. Dangerous ball inside the forward 50. No free kick. They wanted one, and they're happy to see it out over the boundary line. It was Stringer who wanted it. We'll have a boundary throw in. 25 metres around from their goal in the left forward pocket. Scores a level here at the SCG. It's 10-12, 72 Sydney. Essendon 11-6, 72, 11 minutes gone in this final term.
The Stringer-Hewitt matchup is one I'll be looking to exploit if I'm an Essendon player in the coach's
Kennedy
box.
dispossessed in the tackle. Cox reaching in for it there for the Bombers. Kennedy goes again. Support from Lloyd. Worked out to Florent. Off a step. Beyond defensive 50. Bombers players crashing in. Laverde in there. Bell first hands to it for the Swans. Wicks through traffic as well. Great work to Callum Mills. He just thumps it up the O'Reilly wing. Into space at half forward. Patley can get out the back here. Does well against Ham. Hand pass comes straight to Francis. They mop up the footy here. Here they come again through Laverde. Perkins spills the mark on the logo commentary side. They go into the back of him and give away the free kick. Yeah, it's against Dawson. Into Perkins, so an Essendon free kick just forward of right half back, sort of closer to centre half back here for Essendon. Scores level, 72 apiece.
It was the handball again from the Swans that got him into trouble. Turnover. I tell you what, James Bell's brought to the Swans game is Crumb. He's been crumbing really well off the pack.
That's
very good.
Ham goes long towards centre half forward. Hooker did all the work but dropped the mark in front of McCartan. In there is Waterman. He took on the traffic. Not sure how he got rid of it. The umpire agrees with me. That's holding the ball. McCartan's got the footy. Left half back flank for the Swans. Asked to play on. Looks for Hickey. Perkins dropped a mark. He should have had. Ham tackled Hickey. How did he get rid of that? He didn't. Play on, says the umpire. Rampy's taking on Perkins. The pressure's on here from the Bombers. Cleverly sockered there by Rampy. Campbell running through the middle. Kenny Gather, not quite. Did enough to get it to Wicks. Campbell, handballs to McInerney. They're away. Looking for Franklin at centre half forward. He dropped the mark. He gets the free. Papley wants to play on. He's told to play on. Geez, Franklin would have had a shot from 50. Ball's in dispute inside the forward 50 for Sydney. McInerney's wrapped up. We've got a ball up 45 metres out from goal.
He's looking for Papley, but he's going to give him
He's had a howler of a night, Papley.
And that's what happens when you do. You're like, I've got an opportunity to turn my night around, but just calm down.
He didn't see Francis coming from behind him. From the stoppage, Lloyd hand pass, hacked out of the air by Florent. Inside 50, back with the flight. Papley reaching for it, picked up by Parker. He snaps hurriedly up in the air away to the right. But if nothing else, it puts the Swans in front. 10-13, 73 to 11-6, 72. 14 gone, final term here at the SCG on Grandstand AFL.
Going to be a big moment soon in this game. It's going to happen, and it's going to be a player or a team.
6 games in the past 10 years by a goal or less, these two teams.
Keppel out of defence, looking for the youngster, and Jones couldn't quite take the mark. McInerney's trying to shuffle it forward to Bell. Hooker's in there for Essendon. At the bottom of the pack there was Parrish. Francis just thumps it forward. The 216s, the young guns, Campbell and also Perkins did really well. Gets the handball back to Hooker. He goes forward looking for Stringer. But the co-captain and Dane Rampy for Sydney wins the footy. Goes forward, left half, forward flag. Bell rode well, but Hind had the intercept handball. Gets it to McGrath.
Hind's been so good.
Away they go. Effective kick finds Ham. It was...
Give it back to him.
Great work over the top from the Bombers. Ham just forward of the wing.
Big
on that left boot, loads up here. 2-on-2. Who wants it more? Cox flies for Essendon. Ball on the ground now. Lloyd tries to soccer away. Has Snelling for company. Wrapped up on the outer side. Here is Hewitt. And the umpire says, let's have it. Let's ball it up. 60 metres out from the Essendon goal. It's the Swans who lead by a point. 15 and a half played, final quarter.
I think the Swans need to put the handball away. It is absolutely killing them.
McGrath goes underground, but it goes straight to Braden Campbell. He goes long. Important contest. Francis and Blakey. Oh no! Who'd be a backman in this day and age? Nick Davis. Blakey plays on after getting rid of Francis. The umpire did the right thing there. Blakey goes short to Parker. 70 metres out.
Don't handball.
He thought about it.
Kick it in.
Parker runs around. He's going really long. Looking for Hickey with the height. Drop the mark. Wicks is on top of Heppel. Another big tackle there from the Swans. There's a bomber underneath it. The umpire circles but decides to ball it up. 20 metres out in the right forward pocket for the Swans, who have a 1-point lead. Just a tick over halfway through this final term.
Great to have your company on Grandstand AFL. Hickey out of the right, steps across his body, misses to the near side, the right-hand side. Another behind for the Swans. They lead by 2 points. 16 and a half minutes played, final quarter.
This is a trend I've seen in today's ruckman game. They love taking it out of the ruck. As a midfielder, just tap it down to us. Your job, big fellas, get your hand on it and just drop it for us. Stop taking it out.
Because of the new rule change, because it used to be if you grab it and you get touched, it was holding the ball.
Yeah, but what do they do with it? They just slam it on the boot anyway.
Cunningham's got it. Defensive side of the logo. Kicks forward, looking for McDonald. Fists it away. Heppel there to mop up. Handballed it to Hind, who dropped it under pressure from McDonald. The Swans fan enjoyed that. We're going to have a boundary throw in right half forward flank for the Swans, who are up by 2 points.
Thursday night footy, start round 4. What a start as well. This match still very much alive. Swans by a couple of points, as you heard Tom Wilson say. Reid and Wright get tussled up. Now towards Florent for the Swans. Hacks a kick inside, forward 50. Zerk Thatcher under pressure. Clever hand pass, picked it all off to Papley. He's dispossessed. Clean strip this time by Laverde. They pile in from all angles and will ball up. 25 out from the Sydney Swans goal. They lead by 2 points. 17 and a half minutes played now. ABC Radio, News Radio, ABC Sport Digital. Still plenty of time left in this game. Wright lays it down to McGrath, who's wrapped up straight away, and the umpire will ball it up again.
This moment's coming.
Yeah, this is all Swans need to do. They just keep locking in, repeat stoppage, the damn wall will break.
Here it is. Rode by Papley. He's hit the post.
That was it.
He's hit the post.
The moment was coming. It was coming, and he missed it.
It probably needed in someone else's hands tonight. Just not his night tonight.
On his left boot. That's 3 snaps in a row, 3 misses for the Swans. They have a 3-point lead. 10-15, 75, 11-6, 72.
Bombers away quickly here through Devon Smith. Kick comes up the line, straight down the throat of Dane Rampy. On the O'Reilly wing. And that left boot, Swans co-captain goes inside 50. Buddy reaching for it. Second bite. No. Has Warner in support. He's not paid either. Essendon with numbers around the football. Cunningham puts the Swans back inside forward 50. Francis goes back with the flight, and he'll be content with a forward 50 stoppage here for the Swans.
That's all they need to do. Just keep banging forward, get a contest.
Good effort there by Wicks. Of course, Francis was going to take a chest mark. It wasn't an easy chest mark, but just got it out of bounds.
Boundary throw in. McDonald v. Wright. Knocked it down with two hands, did Wright. Parrish is in there. The bottom of the pack is an Essendon player. McDonald just dived on top of him. It was Hind.
Let's take two now. Build the pressure, repeat stoppage, see what happens.
Umpire throws it up. Wright wins the hit out straight down to Parrish, who gets the clearance. Not a long way out of the 50, but enough. Contest there from Waterman. The Swans have it. Hewitt pumps it back inside the forward 50. Getting a run at it is Franklin. Drops the mark, but McDonald rose. Handballs to Papley. Here's his moment.
What was that?
He was 30 metres out, could have kicked a drop punt, decided to go the check side.
He could have ran to the goal square. He could have ran all the way in.
He could have.
4 straight behinds for the Sydney Swans, and that is their lead. 4 points. About to hit time on final term.
Is this what's going to hurt him? The inaccuracy in front of goal.
Ridley thumps it long beyond defensive 50. Harrison Jones flies up there for Essendon. Jake Lloyd at ground level tries to get the hand pass free. Parrish goes to ground. He's stripped as well by Warner. Umpire says play on. Campbell's hand pass picked off by Langford here of Essendon. Goes towards Wright and Reid. Great work by Sam Reid. Has McInerney nearby. He's taken on the footy comes free. Reid back to Campbell. Kicks through traffic. Makes it work for Papley. Slaps on here for Blakey. He's in space. 65 out. Has a bounce on the run from 62. He sprayed it wide. It is out of bounds on the full. Nick Blakey
had moments are coming, and they are making an absolute meal of this.
And if the Bombers go coast to coast, they go back in front.
Which they can. This is the dangerous thing.
21 gone final term. Swans by 4 points.
But they've got to take the game on, Essendon. They've got to go straight up the seam.
Not many options here for Ridley, but to pump it long towards centre wing. Perkins and Cox have the run at it. They ran underneath it. Campbell's there. Decides to take it out over the boundary line. Right in front of the Bombers bench. We'll have a throw in. 26 scoring shots to the Swans to 17 from Essendon. 9 differential, but we've only got a 4-point game. The Swans do have the lead, though. Reid, he's been good, knocks it straight to Kennedy. Quick kick inside the forward 50. Ridley just sat Bell under the foot. He takes the intercept. Mark.
I want them to try and punch forward here a little bit, Essendon.
Yeah. Sure, they've got to go to the 45 corridor.
22nd minute of this final quarter. Just the one goal either side as well, so might not be a long quarter either. Smith's hand pass chopped off. Hooker, though, in support. Parrish as well. It's untidy. Merritt off the deck. Back to Parrish. Moving the football well here by foot. This time the Bombers. It comes to Snelling.
All right, they're going to get a chance here. If they get this right, Essendon, they're going to get a chance.
Devon Smith's been busy. He has the footy just forward of the wing. Loads up, hoping for the best. Towards a 3-on-2. Reid! Intercept grab.
Probably 3 or 4 now.
It's been great, the front head. Very good.
Swans keep a 4-point lead. 10-16, plays 11-6. 22.5 minutes played.
Mark number 7. He's got 2 goals as well, does Reid. Been very good around the ground. Goes long looking for Franklin. Creates the contest. Goes again. Gathers the footy. Don't argue on Parrish. Got the handball to Kennedy. His kick forward goes straight towards Heppel. Bobbles. Gets the handball to McGrath. Handballs towards the boundary line, but Smith keeps it in. Quick kick forward. Reid is there. Got the run at it. Had his head taken off. Play on, says the umpire. Stringer goes to the top of the goal square. Rampy read it best, but it falls out the back. Waterman's got a run at it. He'll take it over. We'll have a boundary throw in right next to the behind post.
Over to you, Essendon. It's your turn. You got the ball inside your forward 50.
Really unlucky there to not to get a free kick.
Big time. Big time. But you've got a chance here, the Bombers. Repeat stoppage, repeat entry, or a goal they need here.
Back in it comes Randwick end. That's where Essendon are attacking. With ultimate to tackle on Mills. Ball jars free. Hurried kick from Nick Cox up in the air, and it goes through for a minor score. That's their first look for a while. Essendon 11-7-73. They trail the Swans by 3 points. 10-16-76. 23.5 played. Final term here at the Sydney Cricket Ground.
Plenty of time left here at the SCG. Dawson's got it left half back flank. Flat ball to Blakey. He takes the mark. Plays on quickly, looking for Mills, 2-on-1, created a good contest, did Ham. Kennedy was waiting for the crumb. Mills did brilliantly. McInerney in support, hit him with the handball, goes long to the top of the goal square. Franklin fries and he marks!
Moment.
2 bites of the cherry. And Franklin with the all-important mark, 35 metres out on a very slight angle to the left-hand side.
Clean ground ball by Josh Kennedy, a clean ground ball by Callum Mills, and a clean mark by Lance Buddy Franklin.
A huge moment here at the SCG. The Swans lead by 3. Franklin has the footy in his hands, lining up for goal 950 in his career. Franklin comes in and bangs it through! But he is big in the big moments. It's his third of the night. 950 in his illustrious career. What a milestone, man. What a milestone moment. And the Swans go up by 9 points. 25 minutes gone in this final term.
It was just good ball movement by the Swans. They didn't take any risks. They just worked their way down the line, till McInerney was able to break the lines and go deep. They didn't try anything too cute, anything like that, which is the way you got to play in those moments. And that was just the perfect time and place to play that sort of game of footy. Essendon should know that now. They've got to man up.
Yep.
Like, they've got to shut those easy kicks down.
It is the last half-century milestone before the big one, the one we're all waiting for. Does he get to 1,000? Perhaps next year. But in the context of this game, what a moment as the Swans go out by 9 points from the restart. Still waiting for a clearance. Mills wrapped up by Merritt. Ball stays with him. The umpire will ball it up.
Swans will just invest numbers around the contest now. Just clog it up.
26 gone, final term. Hand pass comes to Langford here. Inside forward 50, just tumbles a kick. It bounced off the chest of McCartan. Picked up by McGrath. Goes the McNulty and Woody as well. 35 out, snaps across his body and all the way. Rampy got a finger on it, maybe.
We review.
I'll check this.
I reckon it's a goal.
Same.
It looked like a goal from where we are. We'll go to the arc and check this. No, Rampy's just got his fingertip on it.
Huge.
That is a huge play. Well,
there's your moment right there.
A couple of years
ago,
he
was climb the post.
I was climbing the goalpost a couple of years ago against this mob. Dane Rampy with a fingertip on that ball from McDonald, Tip and Woody, which means that the Bombers still need 2 goals to go back ahead. There's not long left. We're getting confirmation here on this score. It will be a behind, which will make it 11-8-74. Indeed it is. There's confirmation. It's the Swans by 8 points. 27 gone.
Where do you think the Swans are kicking this to?
Wide
and long.
And long.
So what Jordan Dawson does well. Looking for Franklin. Francis gets the spoil over the top. McGrath is there. Snatched by Parker. He's tackled to the ground. Hickey, the big ruckman, he's wrapped up by Parrish. Not sure how he got rid of that. McGrath's got it. Hine gets a kick forward inside the 50. Swans have numbers. Hooker creates a contest. It goes out the back. Waterman gathers. There's Swans everywhere though. McCartan, a dangerous handball to the top of the square. It's brought them back into it. McDonald, Tip and Woody's there. He's going to lead in the race. Dives on the ball. Handball's under the legs. Hooker snap. Goal! He's third. Essendon right back in it. It's the history between these two teams. It just has to end like this. Essendon 12-8-80. Sydney 11-16-82. 28 minutes gone in the final quarter.
Did McCartan hear my rule? No more handballing Swans. Like, what? That was just ridiculous.
I'll tell you what, I would be doing if I was Essendon. I'd be getting Peter Wright back out in the centre bounce here. There's only going to be 1, maybe 2 centre bounces left. They're leaving him on the bench. It's massive.
Yeah, well, the Cox, he's been going all right. He's had a good night, Cox. Like, just don't. That's just bottle the ball up, hold it. That's just 101 of milking the game down to win it.
Yeah, well, this is his 3rd game down in defence.
Crowd 28,039, the exact number tonight. Swans by 2 points. There can't be long left. Hickey out of the middle. High ball towards the paint of 50. Franklin v. Francis. Tap down towards Goulden. Eyes the pegs from 50. It's sliding through for a minor score at the right-hand side. There is still plenty of time for the Bombers to go coast to coast. It is a 3-point game. Swans lead it.
Laverde coming out looking for Cox. He marks. Good, strong. In front of Tom Hickey. Right half back flank for the Bombers. The young bloke assesses his options. He's got one. He's going long into the middle of the ground. Reed missed the spoil. Cunningham wrapped up by McDonaldson. Woody somehow got clear. He just kicks to space. Look at Hickey go. The big man running towards the boundary. He has to get it because he'll get pinged. No! Well, I'm not sure who he was kicking it to.
He was kicking out of space to big Tom Hickey. What are you talking about?
That was happening in slow motion. We've got a boundary throw in left half forward flank for the Swans. They're up by 3 points.
He was chasing Shooter McGavin down the fairway.
Sean Longmire's shouting instructions from the bench as well. Hickey wrapped up this time by Cox. Has the footy. The umpire says, let's ball it up.
That's got to be holding the ball. If you don't get rid of it, grabbing out of the ruck, it's holding the ball.
The umpire wastes no time.
Oh, he's done it again.
Hickey out of the ruck again. This time,
ruckman is sitting on the bench.
High ball towards the top of the goal square. Parker overran it. Shot on goal from Goulden. Pulls it too far to the left. It's out of bounds on the full. Out of bounds on the full. It's the Swans by 3 points. Away to the Bombers.
They're out if it hits the target. Ham. Florent, clever, knocks it towards the boundary. He's got support in Warner, who gathers now. He's wrapped up.
Don't handball.
By Heppel. Merritt's got it. Ham takes it out over the boundary line. I think they're going to hold on.
The last 4 stoppages, Tom Hickey has won them because Peter Wright, the Essendon ruckman, is sitting on the interchange bench. We got a free kick. Doesn't matter.
Absolutely silly, Callum Mills.
They'd need 2 perfect kicks.
Merritt kicks in around the market, arrives to Parker, hand pass to Florent. The Swans will hang on. They go inside forward 50. And in a Thursday night heart stopper, the Youngbloods remain unbeaten. 4 straight wins to start 2021. They win by 3 points. 11-17-83 to Essendon's 12-8-80. Franklin kicked 3, including his 950th of his career. McInerney and Reid each with a couple for the Swans. Singles for Florent, Mills, Papley and Parker. While for Essendon, Cale Hooker got them back in it right at the end there with that snap-on goal. He kicked 3 for the night. So too Stringer. A couple for Alec Waterman, singles for Cox, Jones, Parrish and Smith. It was Essendon by 8 points at quarter time, Sydney by 5 at the half, Essendon by 1 at the final change. It's the Swans, though, winning it by 3. Shake down the thunder from the sky. Whether the odds be great or small, Swans will go in and win overall. While our loyal Swans are marching onwards to victory. 28,000. In front of 28,039 fans at the SCG that'll go home happy. The Sydney Swans will go on top of the AFL ladder, albeit momentarily. Of course, they've still got the Bulldogs for company, also an unbeaten team, as well as Melbourne. But the Swans with the superior percentage, at least on Melbourne, and until the Bulldogs play Brisbane in Ballarat later in the weekend, it'll be the Swans on top. 4 wins and no losses, while Essendon slipped to 1-3, but well, they were in it for large periods tonight. Led at one stage by 25 points in the second quarter. And as I said, these teams only do close games. That's now 7 games in a 10-year span decided by a goal or less, including now 3 games in a row at the SCG. Nick Davis and Norm Smith medalist Ryan O'Keefe help us make sense of it here on Grandstand AFL.
Well, look, it was as we said, it was a tale of two halves. The first half was a real shootout, high flying.
Yeah.
Just going flat stick. Both teams looked like they were going to kick bags of goals in a row. And in the second half, I think, whether both teams with the young lists just ran out a bit of steam and the game slowed down. But what it did show was who was going to be able to grind it out, make most of their opportunities, critical moments, change the gears on how you want to move the ball and play the game. So, look, a credit to the Swans. We sort of probably thought when Essendon were 25 points up at one stage, it was game over. But they fought back hard, and then in the end they found a way to win. And when you look at it, what have they kicked? They've kicked 17 behinds. Now that's 2 weeks in a row that their goal kicking hasn't been up to scratch. That'll eventually end up costing them in the end in one of these games. So they've got to make sure when they get these opportunities and they've got teams to the sword, they really drive it home.
Yeah, it'll be how Ben Rutten and the Essendon coaching staff on their side review that period where the Swans were able to kick 5 or 6 goals in a row in the second quarter and try and identify, well, who identified it out on the field? Did anyone say anything? And then, well, what can we do? How can we stop this happening? So it was an interesting, it was a tale of two halves. And the Swans, they won the big moments in the end. A couple of ground balls here on the wing. Josh Kennedy, Callum Mills, two of the older statesmen. Mills, he's not that old, but... And then a big mark down forward by Lance Buddy Franklin to kick his 950th goal. It was a good effort.
It's something that Essendon, probably been for a little while now, have to be concerned. Like, they gave up 28 scoring shots. Like, that's something like we keep talking about. Yeah, they're fast and it's exciting brand of footy, but is it a winning brand of footy? Like, it might look good and flashy and all that stuff, but is it if you're giving up 28 scoring shots a game, you can't win.
No, you can't. Oh, I thought their heat around the footy, they've spot on there what they were able to do around the contest. We called it, and it wasn't until James Bell sort of got on top late in that last quarter. The Swans were able to crumb off high balls. Essendon sort of dominated the possession and the heat around the scramble, but it wasn't when the Swans got it on the outside, they couldn't stop them. They're going to have to.
Yeah.
You got to be able to defend. There's got to be a balance. There's got to be an awareness from the team to say, listen, we just need to be able to make a stop a run. 6 goals in a row, too many.
0437 774 774 is our SMS line if you want to get in touch with us. That's Brett Sprigg, Tom Wilson, Nick Davis, Ryan O'Keefe. Sophie Clappin is downstairs getting some reaction from both teams. We'll bring you the Swans very shortly, who have just sort of circled up in front of the Paul Kelly race here at the SCG and shared a 4th straight win with their proud home fans. And what a way to do it. There was, in the end, how many? 8, 9 lead changes, 10 I think for the game. It was level for periods either side of three-quarter time as well, and wasn't a high-scoring last quarter of proceedings, but the Swans certainly got their nose in front and held on for a memorable victory. Another one against the Essendon Football Club. 11-17-83 to 12-8-80. So, as I say, the Swans momentarily on top of the AFL ladder. Of course, the Bulldogs play at Brisbane. And we'll run you through the rest of the round as we go throughout the rest of round 4. Blockbuster tomorrow night. Port Adelaide v Richmond and Adelaide. Bulldogs Brisbane's in Ballarat on Saturday. And, of course, the other game I was looking for was Melbourne, who have got Geelong in the middle Sunday game at the MCG. As the Swans make their way into the race, we'll bring you the song as soon as we get it. But a very impressive win again for the Swans. Unfortunately hampered by Isaac Heaney's hand injury, a broken hand in the second quarter. So James Bell, the medical sub, entered the game. It didn't seem to be a problem as the game went on, Nick Davis, but you'd rather have Isaac Heaney in your team than not.
You would, considering the fact that you had him not in the side for the majority of last year with an ankle injury. So, the extent of that hand injury, which sort of bone it is, can change the length of time. But and he was probably in that first quarter. He took 4 or 5 marks and was pretty lively. Hayden McLean was dropped for Franklin, who can come back in. There's another few guys that will play in the VFL practice game for the Swans versus the Giants tomorrow. They can have an opportunity, but yeah, it didn't seem to hamper them too much.
What it did do, it created an opportunity for James Bell, and I thought he was actually the only player that was really crumbing for the Swans, and he brought some forward pressure. He looked lively. He looked like a young Lewis Jetta to me, saying, number 32 running around there. I have to have a double look there. I thought I jumped into time warp. But, it probably showed it gave the Swans forward line a little bit more balance.
Yeah.
Not taking away from Isaac Heaney. He's fantastic. But Bell just added that sort of
ground
level dimension that they were sort of lacking early.
Because Papley was a bit off tilt for the whole night. He was
off tilt.
He had a bit going on, and Wicks was obviously quieter than what he was. He didn't the 3-goal 21 performance last week, and James Bell did a really good job. Whereas those guys maybe a bit of ahead of himself, where he's still, no, I'm just going to do my job. I'm going to turn up at the feet of the big man. I'm going to crumb, and I'm going to get our team moving forward.
What do you learn in those moments when you are challenged? And Essendon came out in that second quarter. 25 points was Elliott at one stage, and the Swans had to respond at that point. And I guess when you're building something new as this Sydney team is, I guess you're looking at answering new questions. That is, how does this team go when it's challenged? And they obviously answered that call pretty well.
Well, that's it. A testament of someone's character or their ability is not when things are going well. It's when things aren't going to plan, your back's against the wall, and the pressure's on. And they show that the pressure that was applied to them tonight by Essendon, they were able to withstand it and then push back and fight a hard-fought win, which is really impressive. They're showing some great maturity out there. For a young side, they've obviously got a good sprinkle of lot of experience through there. But as I said, that's when you show character, show what you're really made out when you're under pressure.
Yep. They fancied themselves for 5-0 as well. The Giants next week in the Sydney Derby, back here at the SCG for the Saturday twilight game. Does Buddy play?
Yeah, I think
is it one on, one off?
No, I think there'll be no travel on this one.
Yep.
He'll play.
How do you expect that'll be managed then? Is it just simply a matter of just assessing away games, travel, that sort of stuff?
Yeah. I think they'll sit down and look. I think he's acutely aware of his body and his capabilities now. He's put in the hard work, and it'll be a discussion. He's a footballer. He missed a lot of footy the last couple of years, so he wants to play, but he also knows he's an old man now, 2 kids.
Essendon are away against Brisbane at the Gabba on Saturday night, so we'll talk more about the Bombers as we go. But this is a win that needs a celebration. The Sydney Swans by 3 points, 11-17-83 to 12-8-80. The song in the rooms. There we go, singing it loud and proud, the Sydney Swans at 4-0. We'll get some reaction from the Sydney camp very shortly. We might get some stats, actually, just a quick scan of those, Tom Wilson, if we can.
Let's start with the winners. Luke Parker led all ball winners with 32 touches, followed up by Jake Lloyd with 25, Callum Mills with 25, Chad Warner with 23. For the Bombers, Jordan Ridley deep from defence. He had 28 touches. Zach Merritt, 27. Started really hot, did Merritt. Quelled a little bit in that second half. Darcy Parish with 25 and Dyson Heppel with 23.
Dyson Heppel's return, obviously back for the first time since round 1. What did you make of his impact or lack of tonight?
Yeah, you could see that he just wanted to go down half back and no disrespect to backmans, but probably half back's the easiest position on the ground to get the feel for the game and get into it. Essendon's best player to me was Ridley. He was fantastic.
Yep. Ridley and Hine, good.
Really, really good. The thing with Zach Merritt, he just wastes a lot of the ball. Like his efficiency is like at 40% or whatever it is. So if you're going to find a lot of ball, you've got to be able to use it.
Wrapping things up here at the SCG, the Swans by 3 points over Essendon, 11-17-83 to 12-8-80. Some reaction downstairs. You've got Brett Sprigg, Tom Wilson, Ryan O'Keefe and Nick Davis, and Sophie Clapham has Sam Reid with her.
I do, guys. Sam, what a win. I guess history tells us that it was going to be a tight one, but what was going through your head in those final minutes?
Yeah, I mean, for the last probably 5 years, our winning margins have probably been within a goal with those guys. So it happened again, and in those games, it's good to, I think the sign of a strong side is just finding a way, and their pressure was off the charts in that last quarter. They were really coming at us, and we were able to absorb it a bit, and just had our noses in front at the right time.
It was a very seesawing contest throughout the entire match. But what were the positives that you guys really took out of tonight's game?
As I said, I mean, they threw everything at us. We were able to absorb it, and our pressures. We pride ourselves in our pressure, but in that last quarter to be able to absorb that, what they put to us, and there was plenty of things we can improve on. There'll be things in that last few minutes that we can clean up. But to get a win and still have things to improve on is where you want to be.
Disappointing to lose. Isaac, quarter time, broken hand. Have you spoken to him at all?
I haven't had a chance to see him. I saw him briefly just before we sang the song. But yeah, it's a shame. He's been in great form, but I'm sure he'll do everything he can to come back strong.
Great to have Bud back as well, and that last goal in that quarter, absolutely huge. What kind of X factor does he bring to the side?
Oh, exactly that. I mean, he's just the amount of times he's done that late in games, and when you need someone to step up, and he did that again tonight. I think when he marks it, I said to myself, he's probably going to kick this because it's just what Bud does. But good to have him out there. He always provides a good contest. He'll get his match fitness back, and when he does that, look out.
Do you reckon he'll play next week?
Look, I don't know. I hope so.
Hopefully. The crowd loved it. It was a fantastic game. Let's head upstairs to the experts. We've got Ryan O'Keefe and Nick Davis.
Sam Reid, Nick Davis, how are you?
Very well, Davo.
Good to see you. Mate, the young boys have had a lot of the plaudits for the first 3 weeks. Was it good for some of the old staff to get their hands on the footy tonight? I thought you did a really good job taking some marks. Joey, Parks, Bud, Ramp, some of the old firm just getting the job done.
Yeah, I think everyone's been sort of playing their role this year, and that's been while we've been winning. It's no secret. It's not just individual brilliance from 1 or 2 guys. It's everyone doing their job, and that's what makes you win games. It's good teams. Everyone plays their role. Yeah.
Yeah, ready, Ryan here, mate. How's the sort of the pre-season? Everyone sort of says, yeah, you guys have got off to a flyer, but there's no secret why you got off to a flyer. Well, what was this year's approach? How was it, say, different? I know last year was a totally different beast, but how was your approach and your build-up to this season?
I mean, things have changed a little bit around the club. We've had a fair turnover of staff, not just in coaching, but in our physio team. It's no disrespect to everyone that was here that's gone, but it's been a refreshing time, and having young guys come through that are playing their role, most importantly. With Pikey coming in and a few tweaks to our game plan, but I think the main thing is we're executing it. It's changed slightly, but the way that everyone has been able to execute the game plan has been really good so far.
Dom Pike's come to the club, as you mentioned there, took Adelaide to a grand final, and they had such a wonderful forward line. What's he brought to this team? Is it that sort of similar open style of footy? And I guess you didn't quite capitalise like you could have, I suppose, tonight, not on a personal level, but as a team, 11-17. But what's he brought to the team, Sam?
I think he complements Horse well because, as you know, I mean, Horse is a very good defensive coach, and we've always prided ourselves on our defence, and it's what sets us up for games. But Pikey brings that, he brings a lot of confidence to the players that, we can go for those kicks, and he's got an offensive mind compared to Horse, so he's just brought in that side of it, and I think everyone takes a lot of confidence out of his reviews, his previews. He's been really good.
Sam, the derby next week against the Giants. It's been a while since you beat them last year in Perth, but as far as a derby here in Sydney, you'd feel pretty good at 4-0 and an opportunity for 5-0.
Yeah, I mean, it's always a good game against the Giants, and no doubt they're going to want to have a strong game as well. So it's always a hot contest, and the rivalry's getting better and better. So we look forward to that. Well played tonight. We appreciate your time on Grandstand AFL. No worries, thanks guys. Sam Reid from the winners' rooms after the Sydney Swans 3-point win over Essendon, 11-17-83 to 12-8-80. We'll try and get some reaction from the Essendon rooms as well. We're on air for another 15 minutes or perhaps just under.
as we wrap things up. To start, AFL Round 4 on this Thursday night. 28,039 fans in the building. I'll get some votes from you, Ryan, later on. I'll give you some warning, of course. 3, 2, 1 votes.
Music.
Just to give
I've got it already.
Or so. Hang on. Just build some suspense. Just some of that. But anyway, just on the team news for tomorrow night as well. So I mentioned Port Adelaide and Richmond, an absolute blockbuster. And tonight's delivered in spades, but tomorrow at Adelaide Oval, Richmond and Port. Richmond have dropped Josh Caddy. Also, Derek Emelesi-Smith and Daniel Rioli. With Dion Prestia and Camden McIntosh both injured, a hamstring and a concussion respectively. Will Martin and Ryan Mansell will debut, while Lockie Jones will debut for Port. He was the number 16 draft pick from last year. Peter Laddams and Miles Bergman have each been omitted. Bergman was the unused sub last week. So that is all still to play out tomorrow. That should be a great game at Adelaide Oval. Also, as far as the fixtures are concerned, so 2 more rounds have been added. Richmond keeping their headline value on Friday night against the Bulldogs and Geelong, respectively, in rounds 7 and 8. Here, as far as the Sydney teams go, the Swans will face the Cats Saturday night in round 7. That's the game on May the 1st. Head-to-head with Brisbane, Port Adelaide. So a couple of really good games in the Saturday night slot there. The Crows will host the Giants at Adelaide Oval on that Saturday afternoon. The Western Derby, for those listening out west as well, will be on the Sunday at 2:40 Perth time in round 7. As I mentioned, the start of round 8 will be Richmond v Geelong on the Friday night at the MCG. Giants v Essendon Saturday afternoon at Giants Stadium. Gold Coast Suns v St Kilda. North Melbourne Collingwood. Melbourne and the Sydney Swans for Saturday night in that round. Port Adelaide v Adelaide. The showdown is that following round in round 8. And then on Sunday, May 9, Hawthorn v West Coast. The Bulldogs and Carlton, while Freo will host the Brisbane Lions to close out the round at Perth Stadium. So that brings you across all that's happened in AFL today. Full-time in the NRL, South Sydney 35, the Brisbane Broncos 6, so another win for Wayne Bennett's men. And earlier in the NBL, the Perth Wildcats beat the Sydney Kings by 4 points. We also saw, just on that, I know you follow the rugby league, Davo, the first 2-point field goal. Well, the first in 50 years anyway. Of course, they changed the rule years and years ago. But
yes,
Adam Reynolds.
Good
outside 40.
Shooter. Not a bad mate of mine, actually, Adam Reynolds. And look, he's going through a bit at the moment.
I was about to say, where's he going?
He's going through a bit, and South fans love him. He's a South junior, Redfern local, a bit of contract dispute. But, yeah, they're in the NRL. Souths are going well. Wayne Bennett, I think it'd be his last year there. I think he's heading back to Brisbane. Adam Reynolds might follow him there. You never know. But, yeah, 2-point field goal. I can say as a Roosters kicking coach that we haven't practiced them, so hopefully...
Great call, guys. Go to Swans from Dave the Truckie, sitting in Adelaide. Just finished the drive from Melbourne. I give up, says Pam, Perth, WA. I think that was for another program happening concurrently on digital radio, maybe. Anyway,
don't give up,
0437 774. There must have been a quiz or something. 774 is the text line. You're with Brett Sprigg, Tom Wilson.
Maybe she's talking about the out of bounds.
Yeah, it's Davison, right? Or trying to understand the standing the mark rule.
Or maybe even Tom Hickey grabbing the ball out of the ruck and trying to handballing it.
Give up about.
Yeah.
Well, how far can this Swans team go, Ryan? What is... I mean, someone who's sort of witnessed them over the past couple of weeks like we all have. I know Nick's pretty close to it, but the Sydney Swans team, now 4-0. They were challenged by Essendon in that second quarter, as we said. Can they be a genuine contender?
Well... They have to win the games they're meant to win now. So there's not a surprise about them. But so you expect they should go next week favourite against the Giants. So they've got to make sure they win those games. And then when they play against some of the big hitters, which was a good test last week. But when you look at probably the top sides, you look at your West Coast, Port Adelaide, even though they dropped the game last week. Look, I reckon when they play Brisbane again, I reckon they got Brisbane at the perfect time. I think they just got them off the hop a bit.
Yeah.
Your Geelongs, those
Western Bulldogs.
Yeah, Western Bulldogs look like they're a team that's coming up. So that's going to be the real test. But what will get them to the finals or even a top 4 is they've got to make sure they win the games they're meant to. And that'll give them the buffer when they come against these sides. And they'll drop games. Of course, they're not going to go through the season undefeated.
Absolutely.
Like, if they do, well, good luck to them.
Good luck to them.
Yeah, but...
Especially here.
Yes.
And we mentioned it last time they played, when they played the home game here against Adelaide, that the year before they dropped games here at home that they were meant to win. You need to win those. The other thing that Reedy touched on there was the medical stuff. They're a very healthy list at the moment, healthier than it's been in the last 3 years, and that helps. And that's a momentum. When you've got a healthy list, when you're winning, everyone's in good form and playing well, win games of footy. There's going to be a time where a couple of people drop a little bit of form. You might have some injuries to some key players. They're the ones that, okay, we've already banked 4 wins. We've banked 5. We've banked 6 wins. We can have that loss. You're not shuffling deck chairs in the Titanic. You can just move on.
Yeah, you're spot on. When there's a healthy list, there's competition for spots.
Yeah.
So what ends up happening? Training intensity's up. Everything, everyone in the gym, the recovery, everyone's ticking all the boxes because they don't want to lose their spot because there's a number of players breathing down their neck. And you're right. So, then possession becomes 9/10, but to a certain point when you've got a lot of guys performing well, and it's always a good judge of how well a team is how well the reserves are going. Like they're winning. You look at Richmond the last few years; they've won, they won the VFL as well as the AFL, so they've had healthy lists. That's been a real sign of it. So, it's about having a consistent team, putting out the performances each week, not having these up and down swings.
Sorry, Tom.
The 4-0, as I mentioned, and you talked about the healthy list. Isaac Heaney with the broken hand is the blow. Who do you think is going to slot back in for him?
Probably McLean's not a like for like there.
I like Bell. I reckon Bell came in.
Bell will come in and
really,
they'll
really well.
Look for probably Will Haywood. He'll be in the VFL tomorrow. He can come back into the side, whether he comes straight in or comes in as the injury sub. But no, there's a bit there.
And Reid made a point, and it's probably been the ethos of the Swans for many years now. He's just saying everyone's playing their role, so it's not about who's out there. It's about what role needs to be filled, and you put a player that comes in and does that role.
Just on Dyson Happel mentioned earlier, actually 23 touches in the end, 8 marks, a couple of tackles, 90% game time. Maybe I was a bit harsh on the Essendon skipper.
No, he played
seemed quieter than perhaps it sort of seemed as the game was playing out, but their 4th most touches, Ridley 28, Merritt 27, Parrish 25, and there is Happel 23. So anyway, can't always judge these things on numbers alone.
Yeah, I'm not big on looking at what stats and how many touches you get. It's how effective and the influence you have on the game. Like you say, you look at Sam Reid's game, for example. He only had 15 touches, but he took some really big contested marks, and he was a massive influence to the game.
Wrapping things up at the SCG, 0437 774 774. You're with Brett Sprigg, Tom Wilson, Nick Davis and Ryan O'Keefe. Why don't you give us your 3-2-1 votes in the ABC Player of the Year, Ryan, and explain your work as you go.
Yep. All right. I'll give my one vote to Jordan Ridley from Essendon. I thought he was fantastic off half back. He every time he won the ball, he used it really well, and he was one player that was prepared to go through the middle and take the game on. I give 2 votes to Sam Reid. As I said, some of his marking power, he was starting to have real influence. Did some great work in the ruck, went back, helped the defence, and kicked a couple of goals. And then I'll give 3 votes to the human wrecking ball down Luke Parker. He's just crashing, kept getting the ball forward, and played a really good leaders game tonight.
So 3 to Luke Parker, 2 for Sam Reid, 1 to Jordan Ridley. Ryan O'Keefe's votes in the ABC Player of the Year. The Swans go to top of the ladder. Of course, you take these things with a grain of salt because we still have 8 games to come this round. While for Essendon at 1-3, slipping from 9th to 10th. As it currently stands. I don't think we'll get some reaction from downstairs. Sophie Clappin is waiting patiently, but if we do, we'll sort of fire it up quickly, but I don't know if we'll get anyone from downstairs from the Essendon camp. 28,000, or just over that. We're here tonight to see the Swans beat the Bombers by 3 points. The rest of the round, tomorrow night, Port and Richmond. Huge game, Adelaide Oval.
Well, both teams have made a heap of changes.
Both lost last week.
Yeah, and they've thrown the toys out of the cot a little bit. It's like Richmond had a couple of injuries, and then they put another 3 omissions on top of that. That's a huge change in personnel over 1 week, and Porter made some changes as well. So, Yeah, I think it's going to have a bit of fire, that game, for sure. They're going to both come breathing, and it's that's going to be a terrific clash.
What are your thoughts, Tom?
Last year's preliminary final matchup, which was a classic, that's for sure. Richmond got over the line in the wet. Conditions certainly suited them. Port Adelaide, you'd expect them to bounce back. West Coast, I think, would have almost done that to anyone with the way that they played in that first half. I know Ken Hinkley was extremely disappointed in their effort in the first half. They won the second half, so it might be a little jolt. It's one of those things, you can only beat who's in front of you, and Port did that really well in the first 2 weeks, but copped West Coast over there in Perth. And the thing about the Eagles is they cooked themselves last year in the hub with their poor start to the season. Once they got out of there, they played exceptionally well. Lost over there in the first week of the finals, which they would have been extremely disappointed about, to Collingwood, but they've still got a big run in them, I think, this year.
Saturday in Ballarat, the Bulldogs and the Lions, as I mentioned, as the Bulldogs look to go back on top because the Swans have done their bit tonight to be 4-0, and the Bulldogs, of course, unbeaten 3-0 as well. St Kilda West Coast in the twilight on Saturday at Docklands. Saturday night games at Gold Coast v Carlton, also a pretty good matchup, I reckon. Collingwood and the Giants, while on Sunday, North and Adelaide, Melbourne v Geelong, and Fremantle up against Hawthorn to close the round. But there are still 8 tantalising games of footy ahead of us in AFL Round 4. After tonight, the Swans beat Essendon by half a goal, 3 points, 11-17, 83 to 12-8, 80. Thanks to you, Tom Wilson, as always.
Yep, great game.
See you next time. Nick Davis, thank you. And Ryan O'Keefe, great to have you back on Grandstand AFL.
Great, thanks for having me.
And thanks to Sophie Clappin downstairs. Thanks to our tech, Nathan Turnbull, and to Bridget Lacey back in the studio. And to you, most importantly, for your company as well. Thanks for staying with us through a thrilling Thursday night in which the Swans came back from 25 points down in the second quarter to win this game by 3 points against Essendon. Buddy Franklin kicked 3. He now has 950 goals across his career. Here's how he saw it on Grandstand AFL.
Stringer just pulls it out of the ruck, chucks it on the right boot, and goals! Something from nothing from the Bombers. They get the first here at the SCG.
Going in hard there is Campbell in defence for the Swans, although he taps it towards the pocket. Picked up by Parrish. The finish from the pocket is superb!
Just keep an eye on Isaac Heaney.
He's just come off clutching his right hand. He's in the hands of the doctor now. They're heading down to the rooms. Isaac Heaney officially injured, and James Bell, the medical sub, has been activated for the Swans and just injected into the game.
Golden back, open space, 65 out. Buddy's back there, top of the goal square. He can beat Francis to it. Runs in, plays on quickly. On the angle, mind you. But Lance Franklin has goal number 2 tonight. And the Swans are back in front. Word from downstairs that it is a broken hand for Isaac Heaney.
Hind has been busy in this quarter. He takes a bounce. This is dead. A second one. He's running straight through the middle of the SCG, taking everyone on. Finally chucks it on the left boot. A dribble kick forward. Didn't help Waterman. Here Hind goes again. Kicks forward looking for Stringer. What play from Nick Hind. Brilliant. Stringer from 30 metres out on a slight angle to stop the run of Swans goals. He's got his third. Papley runs to 50. He's been quiet, but he's about to get loud. Tommy Papley. He's on the board. Mills did brilliantly. McInerney in support. Hit him with the hairball. Goes long to the top of the goal square. Franklin fries and he marks.
Moment.
2 bites of the cherry. And Franklin with the all-important mark, 35 metres out on a very slight angle to the left-hand side. Lining up for goal 950 in his career. Franklin comes in and bangs it through! And the Swans go up by 9 points.
The Woodiers, 35 out, snaps across his body and all the way. Rampy got a finger on it, maybe. We'll go to the arc and check this. No, Rampy's just got his fingertip on it.
McCartan, a dangerous hairball to the top of the square. It's brought them back into it. McDonald, Tip and Woody's there. He's going to lead in the race. Dives on the ball. Hairball's under the legs. Hooker snap. Goal! He's third.
Merritt kicks in the middle of the market, arrives to Parker. Hand pass to Florent. The Swans will hang on. They go inside forward 50. And in a Thursday night heart stopper. The Youngbloods remain unbeaten. 4 straight wins to start 2021. They win by 3 points.
Hi, I'm Salua from the ABC, and we're inviting you to be involved in our new project, which takes a deep dive into Australia's deep time. We've decided to capture what we know about our 65,000-year-old history, but we need your help to bring the key cultural finds